Hey there, slutties, it's Sammie, and I got some news for you. The inaugural Exotica Minneapolis is taking over the Minneapolis Convention Center June 26th through the 28th, and trust me, this one is coming in loud, proud, and absolutely unforgettable. Step inside a full-blown playground of pleasure, curiosity, and connection. Jaw-dropping live stage shows that keep your eyes glued and your pulse racing. Eye-opening seminars where you might just learn something deliciously new. And of course, an interactive dungeon built for exploration with consent and boundaries always front and center. And of course, the chance to meet your favorite adult stars, adult legends, and creators up close and personal. And yes, as always with Exotica, the staple of the convention that we love so much, Ladies Free Friday. So grab your crew, make it a night, and let it spiral into stories you'll be telling months from now. Lock in your tickets before they disappear at exoticaexpo.com. Can't wait to see you at Exotica.
No need to knock, the door's unlocked. Come on in, let's have some fun. We'll make it hot, won't wanna stop. Slide on into Suburban Slut. No need to knock, the door's unlocked. Come on in, let's have some fun. We'll make it hot, won't wanna stop. Slide on into Suburban Slut.
La 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 la. Three, two, one. Switch me on and let's switch it up. Hey there, slutties. Yes, hey there. Welcome to another episode of the Suburban Slut Podcast, your home for the kinkery, the sluttery, the fuckery, and everything in between. Welcome to the neighborhood. Don't be shy. Come on in. Shoes off, pants off, inhibitions at the door. I'm your content creator's favorite host, the Pharaoh Delight himself, Sammie Switch. So, why don't you slide on in and let's get a little comfy for this week's episode. Sluttery is ahead. But of course, you may be asking yourself, how can I support the show? How can I help bring fresh sluttery every week, weekly episodes, and such amazing content? How can I help? Well, there's a few things you could do. You, of course, could buy your Suburban Slut Podcast branded merchandise. It is available at suburban-slut-podcast.myspreadshop.com. T-shirts, tank tops, tote bags. There's a lot of things over there. And I think the most important thing is, if there's something you want, I can always add it to the store. If you're not able to take it and add it yourself, someone didn't turn his phone off. Everyone take a shot. All right. Back to where we were. Yes, so if you want t-shirts, mugs, tote bags, whatever, go on over there and order it up. Helps keep the show going, helps provide relief from the costs of the monthly subscriptions for the Zoom, the audio platform, the editing software, all that jazz. And if t-shirts aren't your bag, hey, that's okay. You can always interact with us. Give us a like, give us a follow, comment on posts, all that kind of stuff helps get eyes on the podcast and on our platforms. So you can head on over to the Suburban Slut Podcast on Instagram. That is Suburban Slut Podcast. And on X/Twitter, it is, of course, Suburban Slut Pod. Retweets, reposts, stories, all that jazz. If you like something, just show you like it, and that helps gets us eyes on the product. Of course, you can find me on FetLife at Sammie Switch. On Facebook is Sammie Switch, and the podcast page, Suburban Slut Podcast. The YouTube, yes, the booming YouTube is up and running, and I did just upload the video interview with none other than Rain DeGray. So if you want to watch our video interview together, head on over to YouTube, Suburban Slut Podcast. And most importantly, of course, wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, Pandora, MySpace, wherever you get it, give us a follow, give us a rating, download, whatever your preference. Any of those options or all of them help the show grow. And of course, most importantly, you already know what I'm going to say. Email the show, suburbanslutpodcast@gmail.com. If you have questions, if you have comments, if you want to play one of our previous games, whatever you like, send it my way. And of course, if you don't want to use your real name, just let me know in the email, and we can absolutely make sure that your email and your story stays anonymous. My challenge to my slutties this week, and for the rest of the summer, here's your assignment. Here's what I want the neighborhood to do. It is Slut Summer, as we've discussed, Slut Summer 26. I want to hear about your sluttery. I want to hear about what you've been getting into naughty-wise, whether it's sex parties, whether it's crazy dates, whatever you are into or whatever crazy sluttery you've gotten into. I want you to email the show and tell me all about it so I can read it on the show. So we'll be doing that for the next 4 weeks. And again, if you want, you can make up a name. Or if you just want an anonymous, that's fine too. Just let me know. Your privacy is most important to me. And I would never violate that boundary of sharing personal information, of course, if not consented to. So, boys, girls, theys, thems, send me your sluttiest stories of the summer so far, and let's make this interesting. So, all right, on to the show. So this week, I have the lovely, the almost menacing and kind of sassy. Yeah, V, you know you're a little sassy. Rollergirl V from Zcash will be joining the show. And funny sidebar, I goofed up. So they recorded the episode for me on a platform they use. And they sent it to me, and I went to download it, and it wasn't there. So I said, hey, V, the episode, it's gone. I need to download it. Sassy little V says, scrolls back up, well, I sent it to you 9 days ago, and it expired 24 hours later. So I said, okay. Can you please send it one more time? I promise I got it. So she sends it one more time, and I thought I downloaded it. So the next day I go back to re-download it. No, it's gone. V, one more time. I'm so sorry. And granted, to V's credit, I would be annoyed too. And at this point, she was a little annoyed. She's like, okay, I really can't keep doing this. Can you please just make sure it downloads right now? So the interview will be coming up shortly. Thank you to V for your patience. And of course, make sure to check out Zcash. I'll include those links in the episode notes. And can't wait to share that. But also, the cherry on top this week, the legendary, the iconic Howie Gordon from his own book, Hindsight, joins the show. Now, you may know him better as Richard. I'm going to say it so wrong. I'm sorry. Pacheco, I always say it wrong. The funny story is, Howie and I had a great interview, And randomly, he brought up that he was in the movie Candy Stripers, and I legit flipped the fuck out because I told him, dude, me and an old friend used to watch that movie in her basement on her freaking weird bowl chair, all cuddled up. That was one of the first pornos I ever watched. That was the first porno I ever watched with a woman. Candy Stripers. So, if you are so inclined, please feel free to look up Candy Stripers or download or purchase it, but also make sure to get Howie's book, Hindsight. I'll include that in the show notes as well, and everything will be there link-wise. So for the episode itself, yes, I'm a little choked up this week, so bear with me. Next week is going to be our Exotica exclusive preview episode, so make sure to turn in. You can't turn in. You can turn out, though. What? Yeah. No. Tune in next week, but before that, if you're in the area, tickets are selling fast. You can still secure them at exoticaexpo.com. Minneapolis, Pride Week. Pride Month. What am I talking about? Pride Week. But their Pride events are going during the week of Exotica, so it's a great partnership. Of course, Smitten Kitten will be there. So many names. I'm going to list them next week. So please make sure to make it out to Exotica, Minneapolis for its inaugural event during Pride, and make sure to check out the Spark section, which is near and dear to my heart. Sasha, Pegstress, Brittany, my lovely, lovely team. Thank you for having me, and thank you for allowing me to support the Spark community. All right, so for my part this week, it's going to be pretty short. Howie's a pretty long interview, so I know you guys, girls, theys, thems, like about 2 to 3 hour sweet spot, but I want to share this with you. You are my friends. You are my family. I do truly consider everyone that listens to this show part of my community. And I swear to God, I turned it off. Oh my God. All right, take a shot. Hold on. It was Tinder. Okay, we're back. Today is June 16th. Today, I want to share something extremely personal with everyone listening. Vulnerability has been something I've been working on for so long. And what better way to practice vulnerability than with my slutty community, boys, girls, theys, thems. Today is June 16th, and I am 1 year sober today. It's a great accomplishment. It's not something I could have done on my own. I have had people cheer me on. I have had people support me. And yes, I have done a lot of the hard work. It's hard work. And I'm in a really, really good place. As of today, 1 year from quitting drinking. Life's good. I'm good. And I couldn't be more thankful for my first continuous year of sobriety. So I'm celebrating tonight, unfortunately by myself. That's the only downside to being single is like birthdays and special occasions. You kind of have to celebrate yourself. So I'm going to have some chicken fingies. I'm going to have some French fries and watch one of my favorite horror movies, Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Oh, it's so good. So good. It is like one of the top 5 LGBTQ movies to watch. And funny enough, the bondage in that movie, for some reason as a kid, I really liked those scenes, and look at me now. So kind of a telltale sign. But I just wanted to share that with everyone listening. Mainly because doing this podcast has really helped me. And I'm already getting choked up. So, you guys, girls, theys, thems, make me feel not alone. And at a time like tonight where I'm alone and I'm trying to be happy and celebrate, I am recording this episode because I want to hang out with you guys, girls, theys, and thems. And that's how I'm choosing to celebrate my 1 year sobriety anniversary, is recording a podcast. And if you're listening to this, thank you. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for supporting the show. Thank you for finding me at least kind of funny. I think I'm ridiculously funny. Some people debate that, but if you're listening, you're at least entertained. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you to my family, my friends, my loved ones. Thank you to the Suburban Slut Podcast community. This show gives me something to do. This show gives me an outlet. This show gives me purpose, and I truly do love doing this for you guys, girls, theys, and thems. So with that vulnerability out there, thank you. I know I keep saying it, but really, thank you from the bottom of my heart. So now that we have the vulnerability out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into our interviews this week. We have the Rollergirl coming up first. Right after that is going to be Howie Gordon. And then again next week, it's going to be our Exotica preview show. I do have some amazing guests I'm interviewing this week. Stay tuned for more of that. And yes, so my Slut Summer, I almost forgot to share the story. This is how caught up I am on my feels. Okay, let's focus up. I went to Beyond Wonderland over the weekend with Tish. Y'all remember Tish. Sweetheart, amazing woman, phenomenal. We are working on being good friends. And I'm very thankful for her being in my life and giving me grace. So last year, obviously, I couldn't go. And I was very determined this year to go. And Tish offered to go with me. And I said, fuck it, let's go. We were there at the inaugural. So Tish and I, we rode into Beyond Wonderland. We fucking had stupid fun, an amazing time. It was everything I had hoped for. And truly, it was a way to celebrate our friendship. And I couldn't be more thankful for Tish. So flowers, roses, everything to my girl Tish for just being who you are. Thank you. Love you always. You little badass you. Okay, enough emotional stuff. Let's get on to the show. So without further ado, enjoy my interview with V. Enjoy my interview with Howie. And remember, next week, come back for more sluttery. And as always, stay safe, stay slutty, enjoy the interviews tonight. I'm off to celebrate myself. Love you all. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. And welcome, slutties. Tonight, I have a very special guest, someone very near and dear to my heart. For the brief moment we had together in Chicago, V from Zcash is joining the show tonight. V, how are you doing, love?
I'm good. Thanks for having me on the show. It's been quite an adventure since Chicago, but it was very nice to meet you there.
I know, it was so great. I loved your setup, and of course,
Cheers.
your goodie bag is still in my to-go bag with all the keeping it clean and emergencies. Like, that was still one of my favorite swag bags ever.
I'm glad to hear it.
History.
Yeah, we had a
Very
little
useful.
little harm reduction and safety cleaning kit. You either definitely wanted to use it or you definitely wanted to save it.
Right. It's like, no, I want to save this. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now we're going to be talking about, of course, Zcash. So just as a general, for everyone tuning in, the boys, girls, theys, thems, what is Zcash?
Zcash is a private payment system that makes it possible for adult creators, and not really anyone, but it's particularly useful for adult creators to have a payment solution that is one where they cannot be banned. So a lot of us have had this experience where we try to get on a platform, a payment app, even a bank account sometimes, and we have trouble either opening or maintaining that account for any length of time or using it for any meaningful parts of our businesses. A lot of this is may come as a surprise actually if you're not part of the adult industry or you haven't faced financial discrimination in the past. But what's unique about Zcash is that there's literally no information that is required of you to give up to Zcash's network about who you are. And what this means is that it's not possible for someone to ban you based on who you are. And because the transactions on the Zcash network are entirely encrypted and private, then it's also not possible to know who your customers are, nor is it possible to know what you are sending or spending money on. And so for all those reasons, it means that it's technologically not possible to create a gate in which someone cannot spend Zcash that they have, or to be blocked to buy something because of who they are or what they're buying. And that's kind of, I mean, it's one of those like, how is this too good to be true things? But when you see it in action, it's one of those situations where you're like shocked that it's even easier than Venmo or PayPal or something. And yet it works so smoothly and so reliably for particularly adult industries, but anyone who really wants to buy and sell. And it's moving really fast right now. There's a lot going on in it. So I'm really excited to be talking to you all about it.
That is awesome. I love it. Well, let me ask some deep dive questions here. So I know a lot of people hear privacy coin and immediately think like criminal activity. I mean, that's just the world we live in.
Sure.
But coming from the adult industry, of course, financial privacy can literally mean safety, housing, and survival for workers. So does
Yes.
Zcash see itself as a tool for vulnerable communities as much as a financial technology?
So that's a good question. I
Yeah.
think they see themselves primarily as an enabling technology, and much
Mm,
like, and I don't want to speak on behalf of like, because Zcash itself is like not one thing either. Like I mentioned, it's like a payment system and
true.
there's an ecosystem for it. So there's like many companies in the space. There are a number of different open source projects and tools built around it as well. Like, so it's got technology, it's got business interests. So there's like a lot of different pieces. I don't want to speak as though Zcash is one monolith because it's not.
Hmm.
My role in it is as an advocate for vulnerable populations. So I like to say that like it's certainly true that any enabling technology will enable new capabilities in the world. People will be able to do different things than they have been able to do before. But one thing to remember is that like people who talk about this only in terms of like criminals could use this. And the two things I would
Right.
say to that is like, one, I think it's important to remember that, a criminal is defined by the powers that be, A, and B,
Mm.
it's very similar to an argument of like, well, then no one should be allowed to use pencils because some people write hate speech with pencils. And then like, that doesn't really make a lot of sense. You can't have a functioning society that's in any way free or has any kind of like, self-determination or self-sovereignty in it for its citizens, or its, populace, citizens or not, without that kind of ability. And so Zcash fits into that in the financial realm in exactly the same
Hmm.
way as something like Signal Private Messenger would for free speech.
Oh.
For like Tor browser would be for like, anonymous web browsing, censorship circumvention, right? It's interesting because like
Right.
anonymity and censorship circumvention are like actually very related. Like in the same way that you can use Tor browser, for example, to go to a website where, for example, your government might block access to a particular LGBTQ resource or
No, not
breast
in this
cancer. Oh
world.
my gosh, I know what kind of administration would do that? Um,
No.
so like if you are being blocked based on like your who you are, then you have to become anonymous to have access. If you are being blocked based on the destination you are going, you have to shield the destination from prying eyes to be able to go there. And Zcash basically closes the loop for this like communications technologies for finances. In other words, now and only in the past couple of years is it now possible to completely privately find, communicate, and then also pay and transact, now with Zcash, in a way that is unobservable to a large surveilling organization or company or, let's say, payment processor or anything like that. And so that's really the piece of the puzzle that I think Zcash sees itself in the most. We can get very political and very philosophical about it. We can get very moral about it, but we also can be extremely neutral and just talk about the technology. And what's interesting to me as both a technologist and a sex worker is I like to point out what is possible and not always what is polite. So Zcash is a perfect fit for this. Yes, people will be able to use it for things that I am sure are undesired by other people, and that is kind of the point. If that isn't possible, right? If some person or entity can control what is or is not being spent on, then what you have is just another Visa or MasterCard or FinCEN or Government Oversight Board, and that is explicitly what Zcash makes makes you free from.
So here, let me follow up for this one. So today, it seems obviously we're tracked by platforms, advertisers, banks, processors, and social media algorithms all at once. Do you think financial surveillance is becoming normalized nowadays?
So financial surveillance has been normalized since like basically 9/11 era with the FinCEN government agency creation. FinCEN is the Financial Crimes and Enforcement Network.
Thank you. I was going to ask.
Yeah, they've been around for 20 plus years at least, maybe even longer. I'm not entirely sure about their origin history, but it is effectively a requirement that any electronic transaction is reported or reportable to an oversight board. This in the United States, it's FinCEN. And so every single Venmo payment, PayPal transaction, bank account, withdrawal, ATM, cash out, everything that you do in a financial, in this financial world in America today is in a massive database that the government can look at, right? They do this for financial Crimes Enforcement Network, right? So the idea is you can follow the money, and by following the money, you are able to, arrest the people that you want to arrest. And that's, again, where it comes down to, like, again, for most people are not Snowdens. They don't need the level of, like, super spy financial, like ninja-ness that Zcash necessarily gives them. But if no one has access to this, then only the people that are in power are the ones who are able to control what you do or do not have the ability to spend money on. And that's just not a free society, period. If America is to go all in on this idea of Citizens United, where money is speech, then, and then we like free speech in this country, supposedly, then you have to have a way to spend freely as well. And before Zcash, there was no real good technology to do this that was as easy for a consumer to pick up and use in less than 5 seconds and begin to accept payments with no fee, no KYC requirements, which is to say no know your customer requirements. You don't have to give up your legal identity to any Zcash account making thing. You don't. Yeah. So then this is what I said earlier. You don't need to know. We don't need to know who you are. You literally just download a tool, an app. It's called a wallet. And it functions exactly like you would expect a regular wallet to function, which is to say you can put money into it. You can have someone else drop some cash into it, if you will, but this cash is of course digital. And then if you have some money in the wallet, you can spend it, which is to say send it to somebody else for whatever reason that you want. And this doesn't need a government ID. It doesn't need a bank account. It doesn't need a connection to anything else. That's all, of course, within the Zcash network. And there are ways to go from Zcash to US dollars and vice versa. Those ways are gated and observable by FinCEN and the others. But once you're in the Zcash ecosystem, you're basically completely... Oh, there's my little notice. Anyway, once you're in the Zcash ecosystem, you are completely... untraceable, which is, again, the purpose of the payment network.
Okay, so I'm very handsome, not very smart sometimes. So let's say I send you $20 via Zcash. How would that look on like my end, or how would that look on your end, institute-wise?
What do you mean institute-wise?
Like, would it say like, if I use like my Chase Bank, it'll say like, oh, you sent, this person this money from Zelle, and is it just more, it'll say like just Zcash and there's no details or flavor behind it, or?
No, so you can send a memo with every transaction. So like if you
Okay.
yeah, if you wanted to. And a lot of like e-commerce systems will use this field to say like this was the invoice ID, right? Like you bought such and
Yes.
such from a shopping cart and then you can pay in Zcash and your payment is associated like they'll give you a QR code basically and you scan the QR code
Okay.
from your phone and hit send. It really does feel like Venmo. Like if you've ever used PayPal like QR codes at a
Mm.
gas station or something, it's exactly the same experience. It's just that you do it with an e-commerce website that is accepting Zcash via a tool that we love called CipherPay, or
Okay.
you do it with another person who you're, physically in front. Like for example, at Exotica, let's say that I was accepting, $20 for a selfie. At Exotica. Okay, so I have my Zcash wallet. I
Yep.
like, there's actually many of them. The app that I like to use is called Zodl, Zodl. It's just because it's
Mm.
the easiest one to use, zodl.com. Um, and I literally would show you a QR code. I hit receive on my wallet, and I would show you a QR code. And if you also
Okay.
had the Zodl wallet, or any Zcash supporting wallet, really, that you would scan that QR code, and in that QR code would be a request, just like a Venmo request or something, for $5
Hmm.
or $20 or whatever it was that I charged
I
you
was
for the
gonna say I got
selfie.
a deal for 5. Okay.
Well, that's the smile. And
There we
then
go.
the 20 is if I'm taking a little bit more off.
Okay.
But
Okay.
but regardless, you would then scan it with your phone and uh, confirm that you want to send it to me. It would show up as my address as the sender. And you
Okay.
just say, send, and within about 2 seconds, I see the $20 come on to my wallet, and that's it. You don't need to have
Oh.
an account at a bank to do this. You do have to have some Zcash in this example. If you don't
Okay.
have Zcash, you can convert some of your existing money into Zcash. And so the way to think about
Mm.
this is that most people focus on cryptocurrency as like a technology, and Zcash does have a cryptocurrency component, but you'll notice that I've been talking about it as an ecosystem because
Yes.
there's more than just that to it. Um, but the real thing to focus on is as a foreign currency. In other words, don't think about this network as something that you have to learn in a new technology. Think of it as going to another country and using their money. So, for example, if you want to get Zcash, the way to think about it is how do I, go to a currency exchange and ask them to give me an equivalent amount of Zcash from
Right.
whatever, however many US dollars I want to give them. If I give them
Yeah.
$500 in US, I get 500 equivalency, right? I get the equivalent of $500 in
Sure.
Zcash, and it might be more or less in terms of a unit number. It's usually less. Zcash is usually much more valuable one-to-one than the US dollar right now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, quite a bit more. As are a lot of cryptocurrencies, but this
Hmm.
one in particular. And so, and then you can send me, when you send me $20, you're probably sending a fractional amount of a Zcash, coin over to me. Um,
Yes.
but that's it. It's really just scan and send for the most part. And the whole point of that is that even though it's happening on our phones, it's as though you gave me a $20 bill, which is to
Hmm.
say that there's no way that anyone, including an electronic surveillance company or a government or
Okay.
a bank account, knows that you sent me anything, nor do they know that
Oh.
how much it was, nor can they know what it was for, which makes selling
Now
and
I'm on board.
buying
Okay.
really useful, especially for anyone who's been, again, suffering from financial discrimination of any kind, or
Yes.
especially needs to sell in the adult industry.
There we go. Okay. That's what I was saying. I'm like, it's one of those things like I understand the concept. I'm like, talk to me like I'm a second grader. And you did perfectly. So thank you. Now I get it. I'm always like a visual person. Here we are like talking on the phone. That's why I'm like, wait a second. If you could
Yeah,
show me stuff.
it's definitely a little harder to explain without imagery, but this is why I keep using this
Right.
analogy of like, if you've used something like Venmo before, then you
Yeah.
already know how to do it. You just need to do it on another app or press like a
Right.
different button. But the
That's it.
mechanics literally are the same. Like if you've ever moved, for example, $10 from your bank account into Venmo, you can think of
Yeah.
that like a currency conversion. You used to have a bank balance, but you're converting that into a Venmo balance or a PayPal balance or whatever, right?
Hmm.
And so once it's in Venmo, then you can use it as a Venmo payment mechanism, or like, from your PayPal balance or whatever. And this is exactly how Zcash works too. The difference is the places where it gives you more power is the fact that whereas with Venmo, anytime you're opening, for example, a Venmo app or the Coinbase app or the PayPal app or your bank accounts app, right? That's not really money on your phone. Those apps serve as like teller windows, electronic teller windows that are requesting your balance from the institution or the bank that is actually holding your money over there, like wherever they are. With Zcash, when you have what we call a self-custodial wallet, which is to say that you yourself have the custody of your money in your own phone, it really is like a wallet in that if you lose the phone and you don't have a backup of your phone anywhere, for example, then you lose the money, because that's what happens when you lose cash inside of a wallet. And so like you lose a wallet where you have cash in it, and all of a sudden you don't have that paper money anymore. Right. You lost it.
You can't call the bank and be like, give me my $40 I had in my wallet.
Right. They're like, that was paper in your wallet, my friend. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
And so what's nice in a way about something like the self-custodial Zcash system here that I'm talking about, again, and this is with apps that are self-custodial. Zottle is an example. You can certainly have Zcash on a Coinbase account, right? But then again, the Coinbase bank is what is keeping your Zcash for you. It's not you. You don't actually have it.
Right.
But what I like about using the self-custodial wallets, and only the self-custodial wallets give you this kind of protection, because it is like cash in that sense, is that the metaphor that people are already used to for paying and buying things with cash makes sense. All of the metaphors that people use for the Zcash system, when you're talking about a self-custodial wallet app like Zottle, you can literally just think of it like cash. It is exactly the same. When I give you a payment, or when you give me a payment, only we know that that's happened, in the same way as only you and I know that, like, you passed $100 to me, like under the bar or whatever.
Right.
Right. And that level of privacy is really nice. Except that with Zcash, because it's electronic, technically you could do it from across the globe.
So see, my idea was, of course, if I shop jock lockers, which, the community knows, they always have to do like an invoice, but then no matter how you do it, it still will eventually show back up on the bank as, jocks lockers. And it's like,
exactly.
Not everybody wants that stuff to be out there in public. So this is a great alternative. It's needed almost just to have that privacy. It's amazing.
It brings back the privacy of paying with cash to the internet. And that's a thing I think that a lot of people don't fully understand the importance of, again, unless you already need it. But everyone actually has a desire to pay or to be paid in a way that someone else doesn't know that happened. And I'm not even talking about any sort of illegality or trying to need to hide. I just mean
everyday transactions even.
Yeah, there's certainly a situation where I'm asked often what is this going to show up as on my statement? And my point with this is there is no statement, because it's literally a cash transaction. So it only goes to your wallet. That's the thing. There is no other account you need to log into and download a statement from. That doesn't exist anywhere. No one else can log in, is what I'm trying to say, to an account, see a statement, and then question you about where this or that came from, or what this or that was for. It doesn't work that way, because with these self-custodial wallet apps, it literally is just money arrives and then money leaves. That's it.
I mean, what took so long for this technology to come around? I mean, how long has Zcash been up and about?
Zcash has been around since 2016, but it wasn't really usable in a meaningful way until about 2023 or so. So very recently, it became much more usable. I started using it about 2023 or so. And I used it primarily because there's a portion of my business where I need to just ensure that people are paying deposits for my time. So when I have I have a consultancy where I talk about financial privacy operations. I've also sold content, and I make spicy stuff on the internet.
Of course.
And occasionally I'll also set up in-person meets with people. So in those situations, if you want to reserve some time on my calendar, I'm going to ask for like a small reservation hold.
Of course.
However, I can't do that with cash because the whole point of a reservation hold is that we haven't met yet.
Yeah.
Right. So I needed like an electronic way to do that. And for all the reasons that I've described, like I've been banned from Cash App, I've been banned from PayPal, I've had a bank account shut down before. So like
Wow.
so I've been very like financially discriminated against in one form or another. And so
Yeah.
I was just looking for another solution where I was like, okay, I just don't want to have this be a problem in my life anymore. Um, and there's many of these. Cryptocurrency generally tends to be a solution for this. However, the
Mhm.
problem with most cryptocurrency networks is that they're entirely public. They're actually less private than Visa and
Oh,
MasterCard. And so if I am
okay.
paid by somebody in, say, Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever other cryptocurrency we want to talk about, um, then I actually can, if I can see what address they're sending from, not every time, but more often than you'd like to think, they are
Oh,
revealing to me their entire financial transactions history.
right.
I can see their entire net worth. I can see every single person they've paid and been paid from. And that's not something that a lot of my clients, nor I, want to make possible for other people.
No.
And so I needed some way to like not have that be the case if I was going to use another electronic payment mechanism. Zcash was a good solution for this, and their cryptocurrency network, it's called an L1 or a blockchain, does
Blockchain. Okay.
does encrypt all of that information. So if you use the solely cryptocurrency parts of all of this, then you have uh, a cryptocurrency network that does all the like remote stuff good, and it also keeps your data private because you're using this thing called shielded Zcash.
Mm.
But it was still pretty difficult to like use and you know pay for real thing like using your in real life until you start learning a little about other vendors that either accept cryptocurrency natively, or you learn about things like Pay, the PAYY wallet, which convert the Zcash crypto parts to things like stablecoin, Visa card, credit card transactions. In other words,
Huh.
today, and only in the past couple of years has it become really, really easy to do. It's now possible to have a balance assets in cryptocurrency, but pay with Visa cards, for example.
Okay.
However, Zottle also has an incredible feature called CrossPay, which makes it possible to hold Zcash and yet pay a vendor who has never heard about Zcash. It also makes it possible
Oh,
for me to receive Zcash from someone who
yeah.
isn't sending Zcash. So now, yeah, and this is
Okay.
all those
Okay.
swaps that I'm talking about, right? So like
Right.
if I can get a client or a customer to pay me in one or another way, there
Mhm.
is now very little obstacle to getting that into a private Zcash ecosystem payment network thing, uh, basically freely.
Right.
And that's sort of like now what I prefer to do. There's a ton of ways in and out of this, given you like existing systems like US dollars and so on. Um,
Mhm.
but it wasn't really that like prevalent and usable until recently. And so that's probably why a lot of people don't know about it.
And see, and you touched on it there too, the privacy with the name, because I started trying to do like Fansly, OnlyFans, all that stuff, and they asked for everything under the moon: ID, passport, this and that.
Yeah.
And then when I went to do like a financial app, I'm like, oh, I'll use Cash App, whatever. And I tried to change it to my quote unquote performer name, and they're like, no, you have to have your legal last
Yes.
name. I'm like, I don't want people to know. Well, and it's like no. And at
Yeah.
first, I'm like, it'll be fine, it'll be fine. And then my friend even talked to me. They're like, well, what if you get that one fan or that one customer, or you get hacked? I'm like, fuck. That's a good
Yes.
point. So I, of course, like panicked. I'm like, I'll just take cash, or like you can mail me stuff and we'll figure. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that was my big
Zcash.
fear.
No, that's fair. I was literally talking to somebody last night at a bar actually, and we're friends, or at least we're acquaintances in general. He knows what I
Hmm.
do, and he came up to me and he was like, "Hey, I think I might need your help." And I was like, "Oh, what's up?" And he was like, "Well, I think my I've been Cash App scammed to the tune of like 20K." And I was like, "Oh my
Oh,
God, I'm so sorry.
fuck.
What happened?" And he basically said like, "Look, my information was probably already out there on the internet, and these
Yeah.
guys created a Cash App account under my name. I didn't even use Cash App. And
Whoa.
yeah, and they drained my bank account because they were able to link it to my bank account. Um, that sucks for him.
Yeah,
And
sure
my
does.
point is that that's only possible, right? Because the money isn't actually in his pocket, it's at a bank account. And so
Right.
these guys were able to convince his bank via Cash App that they were him.
Oh,
Yeah. And again, this it's not like, it's not like money can always be stolen, but the
yeah.
point of something like a self-custodial wallet, a wallet on your person, is that someone has to physically take the money from you in order to get it from you.
Yeah.
And in other words, they would have to, in this case, his phone was never even hacked, right? Because
Right. That's
that's
the
not
fucked
where
up
the
part.
target was.
Yeah.
So, um, and again, the reason this is relevant is to what you're saying is because this is all about identity verification. They were
Hmm.
able to convince his bank that they were him. They were able to impersonate him enough to an authority that had
Yeah.
his money, that they were able to take his money without being him. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so with
That's
Zcash,
scary.
it is, and it's all, and like and there's risks and benefits to this kind of thing.
True.
The risk is exactly what we're talking about. The benefit is that you know exactly who you're paying and being paid by,
Hmm.
and you might need a reputation system, like or a broker of some kind, to trust a third party. But most people in the adult industry are selling either through their own channels,
Yes.
in person, one on one, right? And identity is a little bit less important in this case. And so so Zcash in particular is a good product market fit for the adult industry because KYC requirements, identity verifications, those are all obstacles for the most part for us as sellers.
Hmm.
They're not benefits. And when we are required to use a banking system that um, that needs to know our information to
Right.
verify us as sellers, we're basically asking for permission to sell, and that's
Wow.
not what a free society does. Um,
No.
and so Zcash is a good fit again because again you don't need to tell Zcash anything about who you are. In fact, you can't. Think of it this way: like if you buy a wallet from a vendor on a street corner, for example, you know what that vendor doesn't ask you for? Your social security number,
Right.
your right, your legal ID. Like they don't give a shit. They're selling you a leather
Yeah.
pouch. That's it.
Cash. Let's go.
Right. And so that is basically what Zcash brings back to the digital realm.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And that's all it does. The entire
Right.
focus of the tool and the network is just how do we make the best electronic version of cash transactions? And they've done it. Now the challenge is getting people to understand it, getting people to use it, having
True.
the on and off ramps so that they can connect it to things like their bank accounts when they need to.
Ah,
And this is
right.
coming in a variety of ways. And so, like and the more that those arrive, the more easy it's going to be to use. But there's going to be, as there is already, a massive like public education or miseducation, I should say, campaign
Oh, there you go.
to try to make sure that people don't understand the difference between holding their own money, i.e., self-custodial or sometimes called non-custodial apps,
Hmm.
and also to use currencies like, for example, the U.S. dollar that are controlled and operated by government decree as opposed to by technological implementation. And I, as an autonomy and agency and freedom maximalist,
Hmm.
what I want to focus my life and energy and businesses around is making it as easy as possible to have the most control and thus also the most self-responsibility over my own money and finances as possible, so that I cannot be told what to sell, how to sell, who to sell to, when to sell, how much to sell, that there's a
Yes.
transaction limit. Like, if I have the money,
Amen.
I want to be able to buy a thing. If I,
Right.
don't have the money, I want to be able to sell a thing so that I can get money, period.
There you go.
That's it. And there's no better way to do that right now than doing that on Zcash. We can get into the like operations of specifically like how the practicalities of like how do I get Zcash if I don't have any? How do I spend it on stuff that I need like groceries and rent and that kind of stuff?
Hmm.
Happy to talk about all that too. But from a basic foundational like just like here's what it is thing is it
Yeah.
really is just another country's cash on the internet is a way to think about it.
Hmm. All right. Well, now you brought it up, so I do definitely have to ask. So let's say I want to go out and I sell some selfies for $1.50, $2, whatever my
Oh, you're
whatever my going rate
undervaluing
is.
yourself there.
Yeah, of course, it's what I do best. But yeah, let's say I wanted to go to the grocery store, and they have I can't think of the word, tap to pay. They have the cards.
Yep.
So how would you utilize Zcash in that manner?
Yeah, so I mean, in an ideal world, right,
Of
the
course.
store itself would also have a way to accept Zcash directly. That is
Hmm.
extremely rare right now. It does happen in some places, and there is actually a website, I think it's called the Zcash
Okay.
map or the ZEC map. I think it's ZEC, ZECmap.org. Don't quote me on it. We can look it up later. But I think, so that is a map of places that currently are like brick and mortar stores that accept Zcash directly.
Yeah.
In that scenario, again, you open up your Zotto wallet, they show you a QR code, you scan it, and then you hit send. That's the easiest way to do it right now.
Okay. Okay.
Now, let's say because most stores don't yet do that, right?
Of
They
course.
might, for example, the next easiest thing to do and the next most private. We're going to go from the most private to the absolute least private, but always using Zcash.
Let's.
So that was the most private, right? Zcash is Zcash. Nobody knows you're paying. Nobody knows who you're paying. Nobody knows what you're paying for. Nobody knows how much you're paying. Totally private transaction. Only in that scenario, the thing that you bought at that store, only that store knows how much you paid and that you were the one paying and that they are the one getting paid and what they are
Exactly.
and what it is. However, let's say they don't have that. Maybe they have, for example, a Square point of sale system. Are you familiar with Square?
Oh, okay.
These are
Yeah.
like those, you usually see them as like white bricks and little hardware tap to pay stuff.
Yep.
They also sometimes have like a little screen where they'll show you like, do you want a receipt? And they'll also show you a QR code and this kind of stuff. Anyway, Square is very famously also they're owned by the same company as Cash App, by the way. Cash App and Square are the
Oh.
same. They have the same parent company called Block Inc. And recently, Square, as in very recently, as in literally 2 months ago, March 2026, the Square
Really?
point of sale system just announced that they were turning on cryptocurrency payments by default for all of their point of sale vendors. So now, yeah,
Oh.
and now most of the little mom and pop shops and the little brick and mortar stores, they don't even know that this is the thing
Yeah.
that happened. But if they have a Square point of sale system and you
Hmm.
have your Zcash and a Zotto wallet, then when they're asking how do you want to check out, card, etc., you can
Right.
literally just say crypto or you can say Bitcoin or something like that.
Oh.
Basically
Yeah.
Bitcoin. And there's an option to pay on these Square point of sale systems in Bitcoin. And what happens is they show you a QR code that Zottle can scan. And
Okay.
even
Okay.
though you have Zcash, what you're actually doing is sending them the equivalent of Bitcoin from your Zcash amount and
Hmm.
using the cryptocurrency network side of all this to pay them. And what this means is that the vendor knows that you're paying, you know what you're paying for and who you're paying, of course.
Right.
However, nobody on the internet knows that the payment came from you.
Okay.
The only thing the internet can see is that this is the vendor getting paid.
Yes.
And so that's that's the middle ground, right? Where it's not like you as the buyer in this scenario remain private. Your identity remains private. You're never giving up identity information to a payment network because you've never given it to Zcash.
Right.
But because the merchant in this case is accepting payments via Bitcoin,
Yeah.
everyone who's looking at the internet can see that they're the ones getting paid. and how much. They just don't know that you're the one buying
And
it.
that's it, though.
But that's
Yeah.
good for you. So that's another way to spend
Ah.
your Zcash coins. And that's sort of like the middle ground there. The vendor, before March of 2026, had to turn this on. Now it's on by default for hundreds of thousands of vendors in the United States who
Oh.
use the Square point of sale system. It's not
So nothing
available.
to flip or change.
Nothing to flip
It's
or change.
just
It's just
on.
turned on. You might have to ask about it, and or at least if they don't show you the little how would you like to pay option yourself.
Yeah.
But it's there. It's not available in New York City for legal reasons. In New York State for legal reasons, but it's available in many other parts of the country.
Okay.
And my point is that you'll see that is going to be a more common thing with other point of sale systems too. This example is good for a customer, which is to say it's good for your privacy as the buyer, but it doesn't actually protect the vendor's privacy at all. And so we can talk about that, like in other words, the seller's privacy, right? That's the seller's privacy is not protected in this scenario, just the buyer's privacy.
Yeah.
And that's partly because the vendor themselves are not really they're not really using Zcash. It's just that the Zottle app and the Zcash network has this sort of like automatic bridge or connector to other cryptocurrency things. We're using a network called the Near Intense DEX, or the Near Intense Decentralized Exchange. But it's the point is that it bridges seamlessly, exchanges, it swaps between one currency and another. And so that's the middle ground. The last way that you might need, or you can pay from your Zcash balance, right, is, let's say this merchant just has, Visa, MasterCard, etc.
Okay.
They don't have Square. They just have we need you to pay with your Visa card or your payment card. Okay. In that case, you will have to use a combination of two apps right now, the Zottle wallet and some other cryptocurrency backed credit card. Again, my favorite is Pay, Payy. And the way you do this is basically you take some of your Zcash and you send it to what you experience as a preloadable debit card.
All right.
And you load that balance up on your, crypto-backed preloadable debit card, and then you pay as you normally would via card, and that then pays the vendor via the payment network that they're used to.
Right.
It's just that the money came from this black hole of money that you have in your completely private vault called your Zcash wallet. And so no one knows where the money came from, but it's still available to you to spend. Wow. If that is, Visa lets you have a card. So that's still the gateway. That's the gatekeeping that Visa does. But those are your sort of basic three options. The more you get into the Zcash side, the more private and less permissioned it all is.
I love that. Less permission. Okay.
Yes.
And then so for Zcash, for people that do want to learn more, is there, of course, a website or on socials? Where would people go to? I have more questions.
Yeah, I would say that especially if you're in the adult industry, the best place to learn about it as either a customer, a client, or a provider, a seller, or a content creator is probably going to be my website, actually.
Your website?
I have a ton of guides specific to the adult industry and people who are facing financial discrimination about how to make this useful to you in your day-to-day life. For what it's worth, my entire life right now, financially anyway, runs on self-sovereign autonomous money. Selfies, obviously.
There we go.
Selfies, no. But most of, and I get paid in crypto pretty much natively. Zcash is what I prefer to use.
Of course.
But there's also there are many ways to what we call on-ramp or get it, and then also many ways to spend it. Most discussion on the internet is not really geared for the adult industry for this. Nope. And also a lot of it is going to be around business and B2B, business to business, and institutional users of this. So large banks, investment firms, and so on and so forth. One thing that I think that I should mention that I haven't yet is that most people are, when they hear about all this financial stuff, on the first part, it's money already makes me nervous. Now I'm tense.
Yeah,
And the second part
I
is,
feel that.
yeah. And then the second part is always like, well, there's also like a bunch of technology here, and I'm not really good at technology and things, and like I'm not going to get it, and I have to learn a new app, and like I don't want to think it's now I'm like stressed because I'm talking about technology and money at the same time.
Of
And
course.
so like of course it stresses people out. And then of course the third thing about this is like most people hear about it in the sense of like, oh, I don't have like money to invest. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. That's not why I started to do this, right? I don't have
Right.
thousands of dollars to like of discretionary incomes I just like throw into a savings account or investment account somewhere. I don't really care about like, the price of a stock or the coin or anything.
Yeah.
I, like most people, had, things that I cared about getting paid for today, right? Because I got debt that I got to pay off from yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what this is about. This is about transactability. It's not about investments. It's not about technology. It's about currency, right? And so my point is that most of the stuff that you'll read about this kind of thing on the internet right now is not really geared for normal people trying to use this in their day-to-day life. And my guides are. So I would suggest going to violetrollergirl.com, violetrollergirl.com, and then clicking the menu at the top right, and then clicking on links. And from
Okay.
there, you'll see many links, but one of them is resources. One of them is resources. And if you click on that, you'll find resources for clients and customers, and another like part of the
Oh,
flowchart, resources for providers and sellers. Both of those have the using cryptocurrency and Zcash guides.
okay.
I can also put together a short link. Actually, I probably should. Maybe violetrollergirl.com/crypto. In fact, I'm going to do that.
Cool. Then.
violetrollergirl.com/crypto. We'll just say that. And
Cool.
then, yeah, and so those are that guide will explain a lot of it. You can also find a ton of this stuff online. I'm on a ton of different socials. I talk about this stuff almost nonstop on all my socials as
Mhm.
well. And then, of course, the Zcash like official channels also talk about this to some degree. And I am over the next couple of months going to produce more events in collaboration directly with Zcash. So you'll hear about me on all those channels too.
Nice. I love it. Well, shoot, I could not have asked. You talk so intelligently and beautifully. It's hard. I was like, wow, okay. And
Yeah,
thank you, because like I said, I know I ask stupid questions. I am absolutely that person in a room where they go, "There's no stupid questions." I'm like, "Oh, you want to bet?"
oh no. I mean, I think that this is going to be, you're asking all the questions that I think everyone, you know, rightfully has. And
Right.
I think another thing is that a lot of people will have questions as it comes up. I highly, highly encourage people to just take a peek at this. Start at my
Yeah.
guides, ideally, because
Good
it'll give
starter
you
place.
it's a good starter spot. But it's one of those things that like I constantly hear people say, "Oh, I've been putting this off for a while because I'm not techie," or "I've been putting this off for a while
Yeah.
because money stresses me out," or "I've been putting this off for a while, right, because I'm not really good at like picking up a new thing for my business or
Right.
whatever."
It's like I don't have the spoons to do this right now. Just later, later.
Yeah, exactly. And like to that, I would say, A, it's okay. You can take this incrementally. But B, once you start, and the thing that I've heard more than anything else is, shit, I was like putting this off for so long. And then I read your primer and your like starter guide, and it was
Hmm.
so simple. And I was like, yes, that is the point. This literally is. If you go to zodl.com right now and just
Hmm.
click download, you get this wallet app. I promise
Okay.
you it will take you longer to download than to create your wallet and set it up.
Oh, I love
It's
that.
very
Okay.
fast.
That's amazing. Well, shoot. Well, I know. Hopefully, we will cross paths again down the road at another Exotica, or if I'm just in New Jersey for some reason.
Yeah,
I mean, there's
honestly,
reasons.
do you ever
Yeah.
do video podcasts ever? Do you do any video shows?
I haven't started yet.
Okay.
Yet
Well,
is the key word. It's like when someone said, I haven't seen Evil Dead 2 yet. Well, do they want to, or are they? No, it's something down the horizon. I'm still learning the basics of like podcasting and stuff, but I have started looking into the videos.
well, here's what I'll say. If you do choose to do a video episode at some point, why don't we go through this again? And this time we'll do it with video, and I can show you the screens as we go. Because I think that for some people, auditory learning is great. For other
Yes.
people, the written guides that I have are more than enough. But for some people, they really want to walk through it in person. They're either a kinetic learner or
That's
they
me.
need, yeah. So I think that that will probably help you in particular, and it may help
Okay.
others. There are pictures on my guide, so you're welcome to take a peek at that. But like actually like holding it yourself, like yeah, holding your phone, right, and putting the app on your phone and then trying it out,
Mhm.
that probably is going to like cement it for a good chunk of
Right.
people. And there's no better way to do that than in person next to a pretty girl. So
Of course. Even though it's a little distracting, I know you gave me the spiel at Exotic. I was like, Z cash. Yes,
uh-huh.
Z roll it. Nah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
you know, if you focus on the right thing at the right time, you end up making a lot of things grow.
I know. And you guided me very well. I'll just say that. So thank you for your guidance.
Yeah, well, thanks for letting me ramble a little bit about this and like getting people to try it.
Yeah.
It really is just like a try it and see scenario. And for what it's worth, violetrollergirl.com also has a bunch of my contact info. So if anyone ever has questions, they can always contact me there. I'm very open to helping people with this. And I also, again, I consult about it. So if you do need a lot more help, I've got more time for you if you'd like.
Aw. Well, love that. Well, shit. Well, V, thank you so much for coming on. Everyone, check out those websites. And of course, I'm going to try this wallet and see what I can do with it now. So,
Yeah, I'm excited to see how you go.
all right. Well, V, thank you so much. We will talk to you down the road. Stay safe and stay slutty, girl.
Thank you so much. You too.
Yeah.
Howie Gordon, welcome to the Suburban Slut Podcast. I appreciate you coming over to the neighborhood this evening for a sit-down chat.
Steve, it's my pleasure. Nice to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you, my man. And of course, now it's very rare that I get to play our patented, is that the word patented? Game with a star of the film legends such as yourself. It's normally women. And I'm like, Howie's going to be the first guy porn star I've interviewed on the show. And I finally get to play this game with the guy. So I'm really excited for it. So this is called our foreplay game. It's just 4 questions to loosen up, get to know each other before we go on with the full interview. So of course, Howie, do you consent and want to play foreplay?
Yeah. Okay.
There we go. All right. So right off the bat, favorite pizza topping combination?
Pepperoni and extra cheese.
Oh, okay. Now, are you Tavern? Are you Domino's?
Oh, God, no. Minio's Pizza, which is a local place in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, is what I'm addicted to. That's the best pizza in the world. And occasionally, I have other friends from Pittsburgh who live in the Bay Area. They have them flown out for special occasions to order pizzas delivered here.
Seriously? Well,
Yeah.
damn. Okay. I was going to say we have Pequots here in the Chicago area, but also, unfortunately, we are sponsored by Domino's. So I'm going. No, I'm just kidding. I wish we were sponsored by a
The
pizza
interview's
company.
over.
Holy shit!
Fuck yourself. You said the wrong thing.
Brought to you by Pequot's Pizza, the foreplay section. There we go. I'll get to work on that one. Now, for you, what's one of the most memorable compliments? Sorry, I always say that wrong. A memorable compliment someone has said to you that really just stuck with you over the years. Like, fuck, that was a genuinely good compliment and just buckled my knees.
I got a compliment like that when I was directing my first film.
Mm,
Seika had hired me to be the director of a film that she was producing and starring in.
really?
And it was quite an honor. I had directed nothing. I had been an AD for Anthony Spinelli, but that's like go get my coffee kind of job.
Gopher.
And Seika invited me to do that. So I'm all excited. I want a pre-production meeting with the cameraman, who she's hired Alex Dorenzi to be the cameraman. I assume you've heard of Alex Dorenzi?
Of course. Come on.
All right,
now.
just check it out. I'm another generation, and when I talk to people these days, it's like, who?
Right.
It's 30, 40, 50 years ago. So it was smart of Seika to hire him in case I faltered. I appreciate that. But
Mhm.
when we got on this, so I asked for a pre-production meeting and with him because I wanted to talk about some certain shots I wanted, and he said, "No, no pre-production meeting. I like to do it when I'm on the set."
Oh.
Okay, because I had a lot of Zoom things written in, and he didn't want to talk about anything. Okay, okay.
Okay.
He's Alex Lorenzi. I mean, I'd worked for him in 4 or 5 movies, and I respect him greatly. He made very good movies, and he never
Mhm.
put out the bad ones he made. If he had a flop, he said, "Fuck it, I'm not putting that out."
Right.
And that's the only director
Respect.
I've ever seen in porn that didn't put out their flops. I mean, they knew
Oh
it
yeah.
stunk, but they put it out anyway. It
Check
was a joke.
cleared. Here you go. Put it out.
Well, Alex was his own producer in general, and so he could do that kind of stuff. So he won my respect right off the bat. Plus, he's a very big, strong man, so he gets your
Yeah.
respect that way too. I'm 5'8", but he's like 6'2" or something.
Right. So looking up, you're like, whatever you say. Okay.
Yeah. So okay, first day on the set, I find out he doesn't have a Zoom. Oh,
Mm.
would have been nice if I could have learned that in pre-production.
Right.
Okay, but I don't say that, but that pissed me off. And when the time comes to call action in the first shot, he calls action.
Huh.
Okay, I felt like I just got slapped across the face.
Right. You're like, hi, I'm
I
right
am,
here.
but it's Alex Lorenzi. I mean, and he's working that way, and I got a choice here. I can stop everything and keep my temper, but try to say what in front of everybody. I don't want to play that game in front of everybody,
No,
um,
no, no.
especially because I'm hired by Seika to protect her interest. She's paying for this movie. She's starring in this movie. She's
Hmm.
producing this movie, and I'm not going to fuck her no matter what happens. I'm protecting her number one.
Of
So
course.
don't blow this scene. The scene is a scene, and Alex knows how to direct, so don't worry about it. Okay, so I hold my tongue, and that proceeds like that all morning. He does Alex directing, and we're breaking for lunch, and I said, Alex, can we have a word in private? And he said, yeah, sure. So we get alone, and I say to him, Alex, I'm supposed to be directing this movie,
Right.
and he said, oh, okay. The rest of the movie, he's an angel. He's an
Huh.
angel. And to answer your question, was anybody ever given me a compliment that I would remember and carry on like this about? I'm working with Mike Horner, the actor, who
Hmm.
ended up with a very significant career, but this was his early days, and he was not so great. And I'm having trouble getting him to be the character in the moment I wanted him in, and I'm working around it, and I finally hit the button, and he goes, "Oh, enlightenment," and we get that scene. He's great,
Yeah.
and we break for lunch, and then Alex said, "Howard," kicks me aside. He goes, "You really improved that scene. Nice job."
Wow.
That was it. That was it.
Yep.
Turned out that's the only movie I ever directed, um,
And there you go.
and I won Best Director of the Year for that.
Oh, okay. I saw that on the wiki. Yeah.
Which is really ironic to win that and never get another offer from anybody.
Right.
Uh,
It's like
uh,
Spielberg wins for Jaws. Like, all right, we don't need you anymore. Oh,
well, there's a
okay.
collision of events that happened that produced the end of my career, and that was
Hmm.
AIDS. Um, and I became a really conservative voice in the business because I had a pregnant wife, and I wasn't interested in killing her or me.
That's kind of
Uh,
you. Kind of you.
and some people in the business, John Leslie, for instance, well, I'm not getting AIDS. He was going to out tough the disease. Okay,
Oh,
John,
yeah.
you do that. And Paul Thomas waxed philosophical. If I die, I die. I can't think of a better way to go. Okay, that's not doing that. Uh, and I made a deal with Annette Haven. We were trying to figure out how can we go on working and not be exposed to the virus.
Right.
So we decided, what if we just work with each other? Um, and we get our
Hmm.
partners to agree to don't fuck outside the marriage, which is was happening anyway in my house. I had reduced my our free love had evolved to one where I only had sex with people in the movies. There was no personal relationships
Yeah.
anymore. We did 10 years of that, and that was enough of that shit. I was really good at having my own side girls. I knew it meant nothing, but every time she'd fuck somebody else, I would lose it. I couldn't practice what I preached.
Mm.
Anyway, um, I'm also 78 years old, and I forget where I was going. Um,
Oh no, we were good. We were on the compliment. Yeah.
oh, the compliment. Okay,
Yeah.
well, we can leave it. I don't know. I don't know why I started launched on that whole path. But maybe it'll come back to me.
No, I do that too. I would just start talking and then all of a sudden I have to stop and say, wait, what the fuck were we just, holy shit. And then I have
Yeah,
to go back.
the sidebars are more interesting than whatever the thread was.
Yeah.
So you have to get the sidebars in, and then, uh-oh.
Yeah. Side quests are very big on this show. Almost every interview I have, we do a side quest at some point. And some of my friends, like Leanne Steele, will get talking and all of a sudden we forget and it's been 20 minutes. And we just try to remember what the hell even started this conversation. We're here now talking about like Florida bananas versus Florida grapes. Why are they so different? No idea. But I can get us back on track slightly.
Okay, make a new
So
choice.
this one I'm dying to hear with your creative mind what you're going to come up with. Number 3 is our 3 sexy wishes. So a genie has appeared out of a lamp or whatever your personal device preference of genieism is. And he wants to give you 3 wishes, but they have to be sexy themed, sexy related at least. What would you wish for, Howie?
Well, I would wish that I was not feeling the ravages of time on my physical parts uh, regarding sexual arousal, regarding sexual function, and regarding the nature of orgasm.
Oh, okay.
At this point in time, I'm like I just told you about that pill that I'm taking. Well, that
Yeah.
pill, the first time I had an orgasm after I had that pill, it was the shortest orgasm on record. I mean,
Oh,
it was like, I'm going to come. I'm got what?
like
Was,
how?
whoa. If that's what this pill is going to be, if that's the trade, I'm not sure I want to make it.
Yeah,
I'd
you're like,
rather
I don't
have
think that's worth
difficulty
it.
peeing than have difficulty coming.
Yeah,
So, those things I wish for are really magic. Um,
true.
I don't know how much chemistry or sophistication we're capable of at this point in time to prolong our ability to feel like a healthy sexual being.
Right.
I just don't know. But I'm finding out that my libido is certainly changing. And my wife is right with me on that. She's 80, I'm 78, and I can't believe that we're not fucking as much as we used to fuck. But fucking hey, that's what's happened. So okay, how can we get the most out of this? And now we have to every new medication we have for every new situation we're in has its toll, its price to pay, and we have to be talking about these things. And, we're
Oh,
good
yeah.
at we're good at that. So we do, but it doesn't stop the things from happening. So that's what I would
Okay.
wish for.
I love it. See? Honesty and still very creative and a deep, deep thinking wish. I like that. Now, for this one, we always like to end on a little honesty. What was the last thing you came to?
Well, the last thing I was thinking when I came, um, that was in masturbation yesterday when I had what I deem a relatively normal orgasm for the second
Okay.
attempt to coming on this new drug I'm on. In other words,
Oh, all right.
it wasn't short sheeted on me. And this
Okay.
was like a more reasonable experience with orgasm. So that made me less fearful of approaching orgasm. Because when you get burned, you want to know this is happening. When it's something like that, yes, I do, and
Oh, yeah, for
I'll
sure.
deal with the consequences. And I'm in touch with some of the best physicians about such things, including my wife, who is not a physician, but she was trained by Masters and Johnson 100 years ago. So she's very, very. She started off. She was the one before I was in the business, she
Mhm.
was a sexual surrogate. That was her first exposure. She was hired by two psychiatrists, two
Oh,
psychologists to
yeah.
be the partner for a guy with no partner, which is how they did
Huh.
sex therapy. They hired these surrogates. So she was trained in that and became that. And I'd be the one going,
Wow.
"Have a nice day at work, dear."
Right.
And but like
Don't
then
forget your lunch.
as I got exposed to what she was actually doing, man, it was the work of an angel. There's a
Yeah.
guy she's working with a guy in his mid 30s, early 40s, who's never ever been able to come inside a period, ever.
Wow.
And she
Okay.
helps him get to that moment in his life where he can have that. Well, that's a blessing.
Oh, it is.
And it just wipes me out for being such an asshole about the going to jealousy and seeing, seeing that side. Uh, it was nothing to be jealous. It reminds me of my history. I was a history major. The old temple virgins in Rome. I mean, they were the they were a therapist for a lot of the men.
Hmm.
And they had a religious bent to it. It was a religious calling. It wasn't a whore. Uh, we really denigrate the position. There it was
True.
exalted. It was holy. Anyway, that
Yeah,
was
I mean, with jealousy, even with E&M, like I still remember when I started in ethical non-monogamy, the first time my then wife went on a solo date, I felt that the jealousy, like, okay, have fun fucking some guy, and
yeah,
getting in my head and the
yeah,
jealousy. And then
yeah.
after some conversations, some honest, open conversations, and actually talking about things, I am now a very compassionate person. So where when my partners go on dates, I'm texting them like, "Oh my God, please tell me everything. I want to hear how awesome it was. Tell me all the good stuff. Cannot wait. Have fun." Mwah, mwah, mwah. Complete
Amen.
180.
Amen. I remember I moved to a commune in the uh, late 60s, early 70s in Berkeley,
Hmm.
and there was musical beds all the time. Um, it's very easy to not be jealous when you're not in love. So you can fuck around and it's free play.
True, true.
There's a lot of that going on. But after I met my wife, and I hope you get to read hindsight one day, because we had a marriage at first sight experience.
Ooh, okay.
I'll tell you the story. It's a good story. There were 5 communes at the time on a nationwide basis who all had pieces of a federal grant to study the uses of drugs in the counterculture. I'm talking mid 60s.
Oh,
And so the one in Berkeley was one of the communes. And there was one in Santa Fe where we were all going to meet. All the communes were going to convent at the end of the year. We're all going to have a big meeting and talk about our results
hmm.
before we turn it over to the government. Uh, and my old girlfriend was at a commune in DC, and she was coming to this thing too. And so I was going to it thinking maybe we'll put it together again because we fucked up that and we shouldn't have.
Oh, okay.
So here's the I'll see her again, see what's going on. That was my incentive is going. And I get to Santa Fe, and I'm real nervous about seeing her again. I'm really nervous about it. And she hadn't shown up yet. She's just not there. So I remember going to bed that first night. Uh, most of us were sleeping on the floor in sleeping bags in Santa Fe. There's going to be a lot of people. So
Oh, yeah.
and the last thing I see is this woman tongue kissing a naked 300-pound woman, a woman with clothes on, tongue kissing a naked, big woman.
Mm.
And I'm like, wow, okay. And we all go to sleep. In the morning, I wake up very nervous. I'm nervous. I'm waiting my girlfriend, I'm nervous. I'm nervous. I need to do something. So I turn to
Yeah.
the first person that crosses my path. It turns out to be the girl with the clothes on who had kissed the naked. And she's from
Oh,
Santa Fe. And I said, can I be of help? And she said, well, I have to go to the grocery store to pick up some groceries because we're all going out to the woods to get things in the woods.
yeah.
So she said, sure, come with me. And it's 10 o'clock in the morning, 9:30, something like that. It's snowing in Santa Fe. I can't remember it. It was like Thanksgiving time. And I remember walking in the snow. She had a Volkswagen bus, and she's driving. And we
Nice.
get in it, and we turn and look at each other. That was it. The lights
right
went
there.
down. Lights went down. Up comes, this is your wife. This has always been your
Oh.
wife. Every time you see each other, you marry. You've been doing this for 4,000 years. She's on the planet
Wow.
again. You're on the planet again. And just so there's no mistake, all of a sudden, she's on a game show set. It's like The Price is Right. And above her head, like electric lights are flashing, wife, 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 just so I got it. And we're just staring at each other. I don't know what she's seeing, but that's what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Nothing like this has ever happened to me. I've never been institutionalized. I have taken LSD, so I know what that's like, and this is real similar.
It's a very similar experience.
And it just goes on. And then I can't. It's in the book better because I wrote it over time. I remembered little details, but the next thing I know, sun coming up again. We're in the front of a bus, and I think she said to me, "Does this kind of thing happen to you all the time?" And I said, "No."
Like, no, I promise.
She said, "Howie, your name's Howie," and I said, her name was Jeremy, and I said, "Well, Jeremy, that's a great name for a girl," and that's how it started. And
Wow.
here we are, 55 years later,
Still going.
still trying to figure out what happened.
Does it still have the lights above her head so you don't forget just in case?
That was, yeah. I haven't had that level. That magic hasn't happened that way ever since. But that was just the universe saying hello.
Yeah.
And that we belong to each other. So we've done our best not to fuck it up.
Right.
And that included, I know what triggered the whole thing about seeing your partner with somebody else. So neither one of us wanted monogamy. Okay, not a problem. That's what screwed up every relationship I was ever in. It's a question of who's going to go to whose house. And her commune was breaking up. Everybody was heading for the wind. So she came to Berkeley and moved into my space. And one day, I had a sliding door to my room. I had a room in the commune. And one day I slid the door open, and what do I see? Her standing in the middle of the room with a very tall, handsome man who's got his hand on the front of her pants. Oh, I don't want to see that.
Right.
I slide the door closed, and I have nowhere to go. That was my room.
Oh,
The rest of the commune, they go sit somewhere and just kill time till I can go back and be in my room.
Yeah.
So I didn't want. That was not fun.
No.
That was not fun. And so we eventually made a rule for ourselves. Neither of us will be with anybody else in the house where we're living. That house will be our safety zone with each other. And that was a good rule.
That's still a boundary today for a lot of people too.
Well, it's a good one because you don't get clobbered like that.
Right, that's your home.
You know where to go. That was just not fun. And then there was another one like that. I wanted to go fuck somebody else one night. We're going to a party, and so I said to her, "We'll go together, and then I'm gonna just see what I can find, and I'll meet you at home later on, or tomorrow, whatever happens." She said, "Okay." So we go to the party because that was normal. We did more shit like that. And at the party, I meet a girl. No, I didn't meet a girl I wanted yet, but she comes to me and says, "Look, my first choice is to go home with you, but if you don't want to do that, I found somebody here, and I'll go do that while you do whatever you're going to do." And I said, I didn't know what I wanted. Okay, sure. Go ahead. Have a good time. Unfortunately, I see her walking out the door with the guy. And he's this very big man. And oh Lord, I do not want to see that. I fucked 3 women that night. 3 different women in 3 different settings, and couldn't get that guy out of my head.
Nope.
I didn't enjoy none of it. So we had be negotiating these things. We
Yeah.
thought we were one thing, or what we could stand and what we couldn't stand, and it's all evolved. And I had got to the point where if I did this within the confines of being in the movies, that was acceptable. I was an
Oh,
actor. I
okay.
was making money because I had tried trouble figuring out what to do for a living, and the movies it's happened for me. And I can tell you that story if you want me to go there.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, we just keep rolling. I'm
All right.
totally good. Yeah.
I had no interest in being in a porno film. That wasn't, and I wasn't on my list. But fucking women was. And I
True.
was living now with, I found my true love, and we had a lot of great marriage romance and love and deep love. But I'd never been with a bad girl. I had never been with a
okay.
prostitute. I had never
Get it,
been
Howie.
with cocaine. I'd never been with whips. I'd never been with any of that shit.
Yeah.
And I wanted a taste of that world. And I didn't have that with my one true love. And I didn't know how to bring it up because I was too shy about this could really poison the well. And I just figured I'd get this on my own. And that's what I was looking for.
Mhm.
And so one day we were both, at that point, we were both trying to be actors. We were taking theater lessons from a group in Berkeley called the Blake Street Hawkeyes, which were,
Ooh.
they were like the Marine Corps of actors. They,
wow.
they were hardcore avant-garde. They were at University of
Avant-garde.
Iowa, which was a huge theater place, straight to Broadway. But they were they weren't even looking for that kind of thing. Anyway, those were our teachers. And okay, Howie, don't lose track here. You're telling the story of acting.
Cocaine,
Oh,
bad girls,
right,
whippets.
acting. The phone rings one day, and she picks it up, and it's a casting call. And the guy says to her, "How would you like to be romp through a hospital?" And she said, "Is this a porno film?" And
Just
the
right
guy
off the
said,
bat.
the guy said, blah, 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 yeah. And which was a mistake on his part. In those days, you didn't tell the women over the phone that it was a porno film. You let them come to the audition first before.
Back in the days, it was come
Otherwise,
in and let's
they're not
talk
coming.
face to face.
Right. So he blew it. And she said to him, "Look, I'm not interested, but I think my husband might be." And she hands me the phone.
And he
Now,
looks
this
great in a
guy's not-
Candy Striper outfit.
Well, that's the name of the movie.
Wait, not Candy Stripers.
Yeah.
Howie, holy shit. I remember watching that movie when I was 15 years old with a friend in middle school in her basement.
That's great.
I shit you not. Oh my God.
That was my first movie.
Wow.
Now let's go back a little.
Small world.
I wasn't interested in being in the movie at all. I was interested in meeting some porn actresses.
Of course.
And they would be at the audition. And I would go to the audition. I was already auditioning for a lot of shit, so that didn't throw me. And I didn't care about the movie. I wanted to meet those women.
Like, hey, I'm Howie. How's it going?
So it's downtown San Francisco, fancy place on Fisherman's Wharf. And I go there. And I remember my wife, I was dressed up, just as I dressed up in those days. And her like, patting my hair and fixing me up before I got in the car. She was sending me off to showbiz heaven. And when I get there, there's a lot of people there. And I see one woman who kind of appeals to me.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, I'm going to see what I can connect with her, because my fantasy is I don't know why I had this fantasy. I want to meet them, fuck them in the elevator, and go home. That was a fantasy, but that's just a strange fantasy.
Is this a small building, only like 3 floors?
Well, that was that. You're
like, all right, honey, we got to make this work.
It was a big hotel, but we were on the second floor.
Yeah.
when we got released. So I picked her, and then it turns out when I went for my read that she was the one that they picked to read with me. And we two of us walk in the back room where the director is. And he says to her, "Do we have any pictures of you yet, honey?" And she said, "No, they didn't take mine yet." "Well, we need some pictures, because the men naked."
Of course.
So she said, she just stripped down in front of me. That was nice with me. And I found out she really was blonde. And that was cool. Okay. Um, and then we read. Okay, now to be kind, the dialogue was written by a chimp on LSD. I mean, it was bad. It
Checks
was
out.
really bad. It was
I
bad.
remember some of those scenes.
Yeah. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Okay, so you do your best. I gave it a shot.
Of course.
And I didn't care. I wanted to just hit on this girl. Um, so after we read, I get dismissed. I went, oh, fuck. That means, okay, we'll call you if we want you.
Oh.
And so now I'm outside in the hall, and I'm thinking, okay, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to walk down about 10 paces because there's a lot of people in and out. And when she comes out of the room, I'll act like I was in another room and I'm just finishing too.
Yeah.
And
Nonchalant.
it worked. And we get in the
Oh.
elevator together, just she and me. And now we're in the elevator, and it's the second floor. So I know I'm not going to fuck her between 2 and 1. And I blurt out, "Do you want to go somewhere and play?" And she says,
Direct.
"I knew you were going to ask." And I said, "Well, I'm asking." And she
So.
said, "Okay, okay." I said, "I have a car." And she said, "So do I. Why don't you just follow me in my car? We'll go to my apartment." Great. So we get to her apartment, and we go inside, and she starts talking. She starts talking.
Oh, talker. Yep.
Okay. Enlightenment comes to Howard. There are no porn. There's just acting. There's just playmaking and she's a nice enough person, but there's no heat. And I feel the alarm going off in my wedding ringer around 6 o'clock. It's dinner time.
Yep.
I meant she had posed for. I took some pictures of her. She had shown me a tit. And the foreplay didn't go anywhere. It's not happening.
Yeah.
So I go home and older and wiser man. Okay. 2 days later, the phone rings. They want to offer me a part. I'm to be the doctor in the closet in the Candy Strikers.
Mm.
And I wasn't planning on this. Let me see. At that point in time, I had a manual labor job where I literally was breaking concrete with a sledgehammer in Walnut Creek, which is like a suburb of the Bay Area,
Mhm.
and it's 90 degrees there. It's more and it's hot, and I'm getting $7.50 an hour for this, and my body is spectacular, and I'm really tan, and I hate it. I mean, it is hard fucking work.
Yeah.
So okay, I know I can't keep. This is not what I was born to do. I'm not.
No.
I needed the money. That's number one. So in the meantime, I applied. I was a history major in college. I went to Antioch College
Mhm.
in Ohio, and I wanted to study some more history. I just love it. So somebody I had met went to a place called ETS, the Episcopal Theological Seminary at Harvard, who is famous for having a tremendous history program.
Oh,
And
okay.
so he talked to me a lot about that, and he said, and they take people, just normal people. You don't have to be Episcopalian or want to be a priest. So I applied, and as a backup, I applied to the Hebrew Union Seminary, which was the Jewish version of that in Cincinnati, and they also were known for having a fabulous history department. And the theology of I wasn't looking to be a practicing rabbi at all,
No.
but I would just do the history part. And ETS replied first. They wrote me a note saying, well, it's true in the past, we have accepted some non-Episcopal students to study history. This time we're interested in making ministers, so go fuck yourself, Jew boy. No. Fair enough. And the Jews, they accept me. But where they're there is you're going to have to go to Israel for 2 years and learn Aramaic.
Oh.
Now, the way it worked out, I'm the second son of 2. My older brother is 6 years ahead of me. Never got a B in his life.
Mhm.
Graduated Harvard Medical School and moved to Israel.
Of course.
If he's in Israel, I'm not going to Israel.
Right.
Where he made a left, I would make a right. He was math science, I was history English. And that's just how it is.
Yeah.
So no, I wasn't going to go and be in Israel. I want to learn to speak Hebrew. I didn't want to learn to speak Aramaic, and fuck all that. That left me with Hammer and the Sledge or
Yeah.
Porn Star. And I figured, let's give Porn Star a shot.
Why not?
And that's how I came to be in my first movie.
Oh, okay.
And there's an and here. I'm practicing getting hard-ons all the time now. It's going to be 2 weeks until we shoot my scene.
Mm-hmm.
So every day I just so arbitrarily take some time and I go make myself hard. And it's not like I don't do this normally, but
Right.
it's different when I'm practicing to be in a scene in front of men, for which I have very little experience with, participating in any sexual act in front of men. And there's going to be 5 or 6 of them or more on the set.
Yeah.
One woman, and I'm going to have to function.
True.
All right. You can't predict that. You're just going to have to trial by error. There's no Viagra. There's no Cialis. There's none of that shit. This is trial by ordeal.
This was acting.
Okay. Yeah. But you can't act a hard on. You know, I know this very well. So the day comes, it's time to go put up or shut up. And my wife kisses me goodbye, good luck, and okay. And it's like early in the morning, and on the Bay Bridge, because they're shooting in downtown San Francisco, on the Bay Bridge, I'm practicing in my car, getting a hard. And I have my pants pulled down, and I'm driving, and I have a jacket next to me for covering myself when a truck
Just in
goes
case.
by. Because
Yeah.
trucks can see down into the cab of your car. They're up high.
Oh, yeah.
And I missed the truck at one point, and this guy sees me jerking off and driving, and he starts on his horn.
Yep.
And I'm going, I have to rehearse.
It's for a job.
Yeah. So eventually I get to the studio. All right. It's just me and the girl. Nancy Hoffman was her name. She was a relative newcomer. I was brand new.
Right.
And she was harmless enough. It seemed there was no magic between us. Though she was going to suck and I was going to be sucked. Okay. And
Like I can do this.
Bob Chin was the director. And I skipped one of my punchlines here. In the interim, 2 weeks before this day happened,
Oh, okay.
I was rehearsing and I was nervous a lot. I was really nervous in a way I hadn't never been nervous because I never fucked in front of people.
Yeah.
Just whoever I was fucking was it. I was not a performer in that way. A couple of threes and a sheetses, but
Yeah.
I just was nervous. And I broke out in red blotches one day when I woke up.
Oh.
Big red blotches. And I had a good friend at the commune who was like a science major, and he knew such things. And I said, what is this? I thought I had hives. And he said, I thought I had poison ivy, poison oak.
Okay.
He said, no, that's not poison oak. It doesn't look like that. You have hives. I think you have hives, but you need to see a doctor. Go see a doctor.
Yeah.
So I make an appointment to see a doctor, and I take to the doctor. He said, you're nervous, huh? And I said, yeah. He said, well, you have hives. Take a Valium, go to bed, you'll be fine tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, now I think this is really great. Now here's why. My favorite writer in the world is Nikos Kazantzakis, the author of Zorba the Greek.
Okay.
And many other books equally as powerful. He wrote a version of the Iliad. It's 1,000 pages of iambic pentameter poetry. And I
Just
fucking
1,000?
and it was amazing. I
Yeah.
mean, he's just the best writer ever. He tells a story in his autobiography where, as a young newlywed, he decided to have an affair.
Ooh.
And he was already a celebrity all over Europe. and he was, of course, lived in Greece, and he was going to Vienna to some conference, and that's where he's going to meet his paramour.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets to Vienna, and he wakes up one day. His head is like twice its normal size. It's grotesque.
Oh,
It's grotesque. He's a monster. He's
yeah.
grotesque, and he doesn't know why or what it is. He's a young man, and he was going to go have an affair, and he's
Right.
turned Marty Allen. So he goes to see a doctor, and the doctor doesn't know what it is. I don't know. And the doctor says, I think it's psychological, and I think you ought to see Freud. And Freud happens to be his friend, cousin Zachus's friend. And Freud happens to live in Vienna. So he goes to see Sigmund. He says, Siggy, I got a problem.
Siggy.
My head is not so good. And Freud says, I don't think you should have this affair. I think it's a bad idea. I think if you go home, it's going to all go bye-bye. So you're going to be fine. And that's what he does, and he is. So I love this because I thought this is going to make me a better writer. I'm a writer. Yeah. I have written, well, I can't see them here, but well, you can. If you look over this shoulder, see there are these books. They're sketchbooks.
Oh, okay.
And this one, you'll see, can you read the number? Is it, I see it backwards.
Yeah, like 120, 220?
No, 220.
That was the right second time.
The title is this. Whoop.
One Cheek Productions?
Yes, One Cheek Productions. And here's the cover. That's the one cheek.
Oh my God, it is one perfectly rounded cheek.
That's Nina Hartley.
Oh, Nina Hartley.
That's Nina Hartley's cheek in 1983, when it really was a serious cheek.
Oh, yeah.
So the book is titled One Cheek Productions, a real half-ass organization, barely get the job done. And volume number 220 means that this is the 220th volume of diaries that I have written.
Oh, wow.
Beginning in 1965, when I was a student at Northwestern University as a cherub. They have a high school program, a National High School Institute. I went to it in journalism. And the very first thing, day one in class, the teacher went to the blackboard and wrote on the blackboard, a writer writes. He put down the chalk and left the room.
A+.
Yeah. Okay. So, Cousin Zachus, I'll be a better writer because I had hives and I got nervous and all.
Right.
It made me a better writer. So that was good solace for me. Now I'm on the set, and Bob Chin comes over, a very gentle man. Thank God he was the first director I had to
Gentle
work
Bob.
And he says, all right, you drop your pants. You're going to suck him. When he gets hard, we'll start rolling. Okay? Okay. Let's go. And action. And she starts sucking me. I get hard right away. And I'm looking around the set. I'm looking at the little guys. Welcome to my blowjob. This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know?
Just wave into the camera. So like, hey, boys.
You know, this is great. Okay. So suck. And there's only, they got magazines that hold the film. And they're small. They're 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. And cut. And okay. And then we take a break. Makeup comes in, they're touching her lips, they're doing her, and my dick goes in. Okay, that's to be expected. And okay, we ready to and we're gonna back in and action. On take 2, she sucks. I get hard again.
2
what
for
was
2.
I fucking worried about? This is a piece of cake.
Yeah,
I'm having a good time. God damn, it's great. This happens 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. After one.
Okay, solid 8.
And at the end of that, every time it's the same routine. It takes a while, and we get back to it. And then this time, Bob says, okay, we have all the footage we need. Now come. Okay?
Oh.
Sure. All right. Now,
Woogie.
The problem is I look at Nancy Hahn. She's been doing this for 45 minutes on her knees on a concrete stage.
Oh.
She's got a look on her face like, I'd rather be bowling.
Yeah.
She's pretty much had enough of my dick. The look is not good that I'm seeing. I don't know
Yeah.
how to read these things because I'm such a newbie, but I do have common sense. So I'm seeing somebody who looks okay. So she goes to my dick and she starts talking to me 2,000 miles an hour, and I'm
Oh.
doing like exactly. Whoa, whoa, whoa! No, 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 no,
Yeah.
no. And I'm not saying this out loud. I'm just knowing that I can feel my dick just heading for East Berlin.
Yeah.
Um, uh, and I get her to back off. She just tried to go start in high gear, and if she'd have started slow, it might have been all right. If she didn't,
Yeah.
she wanted to be done. She wanted me to be
Yeah.
done. She wanted to get paid
It's like
triple.
I've reached my limit. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah. And she's not saying any of that because she's new too, and she doesn't know how
Yeah.
to say it all. And there's no other women on the set, and Bob's reading the tea leaves. Like, okay, let's take a break here. And now fear says hi. Hi, Howard.
Mm.
I'm going to be fucking with you for about the next 5 hours. You don't know it yet, but you're about to have the worst experience of your life.
Really? Oh.
And that's the short version. That's what happens.
Yeah.
This was like, as I started out a long time ago telling you, we're only going to shoot this one scene, and then they're going to feed us a fancy lunch, and that was it for the day.
Hell yeah.
The afternoon was off. And so now Bob says, you know what, let's break for lunch. And we'll shoot this right after lunch. We'll get the cum shot.
There you go. On a full stomach.
Okay, so they all go sit down. They have tablecloths and roast beef and forks and knives. I'm in the bathroom, which I go in and lock the door. And by myself in the bathroom with a locked door, I'm trying to get home. I can't get home. I am so fucking frightened. I'm locked in failure and shame and fear. Locked in snowstorm polar bear where you can't see nothing. It's all white out.
Yeah.
And
No pun intended.
I'm trying. I'm just trying. I get break. I try. I'm in there for half an hour. If somebody else had a piss or shit, fuck yeah, I don't care.
Occupied.
I know, but then it's like I hear Howie when you're back on the set. Okay, that I heard. And I go back on the set. It's 1 o'clock. It's 1:30. It's 2 o'clock. It's 2:30.
Oh.
The set starts to look like the movie The Flight of the Phoenix. Did you ever see that movie?
Yep.
They're stranded in the desert. They're sleeping, and that crew is sleeping, literally. The only one awake is Bob. And Nancy, bless her, is worn out completely. She likes to sleep with her head on my knee, my lap. And I'm sort of just sitting there flipping my dick.
Yeah.
And,
come on.
And Bob Chin has tried every trick in the world to tell me this or that, or to get me functioning. And he doesn't have a backup. There's nobody to call. There's no stunt cock.
No stunt cock.
Maybe one of the crew would have volunteered. No, he didn't ask. And there wasn't another actor on the set. It was just me and that. That was the shot for the day. So it has to be me or he's already behind. I don't know how long it was, 3-4 hours.
Wow.
Finally, I'm doing my dick routine. I'm thinking about the first girl I ever made out with.
Oh.
Not fucked. Just made out. 8th grade. Her name was, well, she won't lie. Her name was Rosie. And her dad was real fat. Oh, did I tell you I was fat? Did we do that one yet? I was fat.
No.
I was the fat kid. This is critical information.
So was I, growing up.
Okay. Yep. I was fat from the age of, let's say, 8 until 17. I had the biggest tits in 6th grade. And this girl who I was making out with, her father was huge. He was a 300-pound man. So she didn't mind me being fat. It was kind of like that wasn't an issue. But I remembered making out in her game. Kingston Trio. They called the Wind Mariah. That's how we started the show. They called the Wind Mariah. And while I'm thinking of her, whoa, my dick.
Son of
My
a
dick
bitch.
says, "Hi, Howie," very gently. "Hi, Howie." I said, "Hi.
Like, don't
You
scare
gonna
it.
help
Don't
me
scare
out
it.
now? Yeah, just keep thinking about Rosie. You'll get there." So
Oh.
I did, and Bob Chin sees this, so he's saying, "Get up, get up." Now, she's sleeping on my leg, and I'm trying to get up gently so she
Oh.
doesn't hit her head, but I can't. And she hits her head. She wakes up like, "Oh, blah, blah." Good, she's awake now.
Yeah.
And Bob said, "Nancy, we have life here." So when he gets up, starts sucking him, and she is poor Nancy. What a horrible place to be. She doesn't suck anymore. She wants me dead. She wants me gone, buried, go away, forget I ever knew you. It's a moment I got to live. Anyway, she starts sucking, and I feel all that. And
Mm.
sensitive that I am, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And
Oh.
Bob said, he comes running back and said, "Look, Howard, get yourself off. Jerk yourself off. Nancy, don't touch it. Just stay
Yeah.
right standing by. As soon as he gets it up, and as soon as he gets it off, that's when you grab it and act like you did. Okay? That's
Take
what
the
we're
credit.
gonna
Just jump in.
do." And that's what happened. That literally is what happened. I got it up.
Oh.
I got it off. She grabbed it and cut. And the crew starts applauding.
Right. Standing ovation. Like, all right.
It's kind of, you can imagine. And then I'm hearing the cheering of millions. It's like Rocky, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't win the fight, the first Rocky. I didn't win the fight. I just didn't get knocked out.
There
That
you
was my
go.
victory that day. And while I'm hearing the cheering of millions in my mind, a towel comes flying in, hits me in the face. And the crew guy says, "Go home, champ. Sleep it off."
Right.
Okay. P.S. The end, all those movies in those days, everybody had, well, not everybody, but a popular formula was everybody has one sex scene, then you get a second day, you come back for the orgy at the end.
Oh,
So
okay.
there's 4 or 5 guys and 4 or 5 girls, and everybody's in the ending orgy, and that's what the Candy Stripers has. So I was invited back to the orgies, and I wouldn't have.
Hey.
I wouldn't. I've long since retired, and this was a one and done story. But they wanted me to come back because I would be background shot or whatever. And okay, it was another payday. I was making $200 a day in my first thing. That was a high paying gig.
Hell yeah.
Only the movies were paying that. The loops weren't paying that kind of money.
Yeah.
So and I'm thinking, you know, being in a crowd might actually be easier than being
Right.
by myself and the only one present.
The center
Besides
of
that,
attention.
there will be 3 other guys there, and I can talk to them. I'll say, "How the fuck do you do this? You know, I will humble myself at your feet. Tell me how to fucking do this."
Like, did you catch that Bears game?
I had one of the worst days of my life trying to do this. So the day comes, and I go to the set, and the first guy I see is Paul Thomas. Now, Paul Thomas, do you know who he is?
That one, no.
He's about 6'2". He's gorgeous. He's been a director for the last 10, 12 years for Vivid.
Oh, Vivid. Okay.
But before that, he was a major star, like Eric Edwards and John Leslie and Paul
Yeah.
Thomas, with the top dogs, Harry Reams and Jamie Gillis, New York.
Okay. Probably if
He
I
was
saw a
top
picture, I'd
dog.
be like, oh, that guy, of
He could
course.
sing. He was a great singing voice. He was in Jesus Christ Superstar, the movie. And not only
Really?
that,
Okay.
I'm saying all this to you because he's passed away, so it's not secret anymore. His family is Sarah Lee.
Huh.
So when Paul started being an actor and a
Yeah.
singer, New York opened for him, backed by a lot of money.
Well, yeah.
And connections that they had. And he decided he'd rather do porn. He liked porn. He was just a dirty old man, and he just really
Hey.
loved that. So that's what he chose. And they said, "If you do this, you're out of the family money." He said, "I don't care." And he went
Wow.
ahead and became a major. He was like, in my era, he was Avis. John Leslie was talking about Bay Area now, exclusively. John Leslie was Hertz, and Paul Thomas was Avis. He was always number 2 to John.
Yeah.
Um, and then when Jamie would come around, of course he would be Jamie. And he did come around a lot in my during my career from New York. He was out here for a while. So I see him, and what's Paul Thomas doing on the set? He's reading the fucking Wall Street Journal on the porn set. Okay, I can't talk to him.
Nope.
And it's already. I met him, and within the first 30 seconds, he tells me he was in Jesus Christ Superstar, and he just does porn for the fucking. He's a trained actor and a singer. And okay, well, go fuck yourself. Because he's, that's how he presents, and he was bored. And I was Joe Newby. Newbies are just merciless. They don't give a fuck. And there were 2 other guys on the set, a guy named Don Fernando and another guy named John Rockhard. Now, Don Fernando, I had a long career in porn. He was never quite a major player, but he was in a lot of movies. Still in. He just retired just recently.
Oh, wow.
Making movies in Japan and Europe. He was great at the sex, and he didn't care about that.
Yeah.
And John Rockhard, that was the only time I ever knew him. And the 2 of them, they had their dicks out, and they were chasing the girls around the back set where we were waiting for the production to start, trying to rub their dicks on the girls' asses. And I can't do that. Like, no.
Like I'm a gentleman.
No, I couldn't do that either. So I just sat by myself. And eventually Bob Chin called the 4 of us together, saying, okay, because they had a lot of setting up to do, and they did that all morning.
Okay.
And he says that I want each of you to take a sheet of paper and write 1, 2, 3 on it, then write your choices of who you want to be with. 1, 2, 3. And then you give me the papers, and I'll try to fix everybody up with the
I'll
best
try my
I can.
best.
And that'll be how we partner up. Okay, well, none of the 4 women that were on the set said hello to me.
Oh,
None.
that's
Nothing.
right.
And they were either running away from the 2 guys who had their dicks out, or they were trying to get Paul to notice them. Because if you're a new girl or a new-ish girl, you want to meet the stars. You want the stars to fuck you, because then you can drop a name.
You get your cred.
Yeah. So they weren't, and who am I? I'm nobody. So I don't fuck nobodies. Go away.
Right.
Go away. So I'm just sitting there, and okay, it's time to go into makeup. And I'm walking out of makeup, and I love makeup. I never looked that good in my life.
Right.
Jesus,
like, what's the formula? I need this recipe to go home with me.
I was made up in the senior class play in high school, but I didn't see it. I didn't walk by a mirror after. I didn't see that they made me better than I was. I like that. Well, it's not the light. Right. So, but as I was walking by the costume room, in there was a woman I hadn't met yet. She was late getting to the set. Her name was Phaedra. She was a redhead, and she was naked, and she was bent over. And one guy was fucking her from behind. The other guy was fucking her in the mouth, and she had a free hand. She waved to me, "Come on in."
Oh.
And I said, "That's exactly what you need before a scene. You need help."
Yeah.
So I joined the foursome. I made it a foursome, and she starts giving me a hand job. And then very quickly, the guy fucking her from behind pulled out because he was going to come. And you can't. Yeah. That's a no-no. Don't waste
You
time.
got to save it.
That's your product. So I take his place. And that's my idea of a rehearsal. That's really great. So when it came time for my list, I wrote Phaedra, Phaedra, Phaedra. That was all I had on my list.
Just all and 3 times. Like, nope.
None of the other guys even picked her. They didn't want her. So I got her.
Oh.
And they did a brilliant thing, I thought, with shooting the scene. They'd been setting up all morning. Think of a clock. In the center of the clock, the arms come out. That's where they put the camera.
Mm-hmm.
And then at 9 o'clock, they made one set for me and Phaedra to work out. At 10 o'clock, they made a second set for the next pairing. 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. So all they had to do was turn the camera.
Wow, okay.
And that saved it saved making up, dressing 5 different rooms, which you have to, at a studio, you have to, maybe you have 2 sets, 3 sets at the most. You have to break one down to set one up. The hours that saved doing it
Running
that way.
back and forth. Yeah.
And I'm learning the movie business too. And all that's brand new to me. And I'm loving that part of things. And when it comes to the sex scene with Phaedra, I don't have any problem getting it up. I don't have any problem getting it in.
Wow.
Not only that, she's getting turned on, and
that always helps.
I can't quite read if she's having an orgasm. I know that mine is going to have to be pulled out and squirted, because that's what they did in those days, which to me is a crime against God and nature. But I did it, and afterwards, I said to her, "Do you want to come?" Because that's what my lovers had trained me to do.
Absolutely.
If you come first, then you don't. It's not done till I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
So, and she said to me, and I was to hear this hundreds of times from the entire compendium of women I fucked in the next 10 years. She said, "Are you kidding? In front of all these people?"
And I just did.
Ain't this a fucking bitch? She's making 2 to 3 times what I'm making. All the women did, except for the star men. If I got 200, they were getting 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And that's how it was. And they didn't even have to come. That I thought was really crude and immoral and nasty and fucked up. And I wasn't happy about that, but that's how it was. So, are you kidding, in front of all these people? And I heard that over and over from women I was with in the business. They just
really,
they had them act their orgasms. Now I don't know how much porn you've seen, but do you know anybody who's ever done a good job of acting an orgasm?
No.
Exactly.
It's right up there with like a blooper reel. You can just like go on.
Rest my case.
Yeah.
I rest my case. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. So, I made it a point of view with all the women. I remember Annette Haven. God bless her. You've heard of her, yeah? Annette Haven. Annette Haven would insist on doing her own cum shot. Now, the producers and directors would go, "No, nobody's going to see anything, so act it."
Wow.
That's their logic, Otherwise,
that was the logic back then.
There's money on the set. You're waiting for a girl to come, and all these women don't know how to come to begin with. That's not their job. Their job is to act like they're coming, and nobody does that well. It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
So Annette wanted to just, I'm gonna take the time for me, if you want me in your movie, and if you don't, go fuck yourself.
Boss.
The next person will hire. Annette got away with shit nobody else got away.
Yeah.
Because she was Annette. She was box office, and she knew how to use it. And it was for a while before porn started having other competitive women with her beauty. She was pretty much one of two. And Georgina could act. Georgina was an actress. So she also was treated like royalty in the early days. And Marilyn Chambers was in the case by herself.
Oh yeah, Marilyn Chambers, come on.
She was the Ivory Snow, and that made her box office. And I really liked her. She and I got along just great, especially after she got rid of Chuck Trainer, who was asshole number 1.
Oh, okay.
Not a good guy.
No. So now I do have to ask. So I know this sounds amazing, like it's coming almost right from a book, which you do have a book. Now, is it officially out since we last talked, or it's not officially out yet, is it? Or has Hindsight come out?
It was out in 2013.
So it's been out a few years.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I am not.
I didn't want to spoil it and be like, wait a second, and misspeak. So that's just my dumb self making an ass out of myself. So thank you.
Never learned how to be a pitch man.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that, and I haven't done it. And that's, I think Jennifer Young, she's calling herself.
Yeah.
She's introduced us. She's the one that contacted me,
Love
right?
Jennifer.
Yeah,
Yep.
well, I do too, because well, I wouldn't be talking to you without her.
Right.
So that's good, and that's what I need. And I didn't want to chase it. Um,
Yeah.
I went down to LA before I started in porn. I was training with the group in Berkeley and uh, doing a lot of auditions, and I got hired to be at a supper club called
Ooh.
1520 AD. It was
Okay.
like a nightclub where a dinner club. You go in and you eat, you order dinner. You could either get a roast beef platter or a Cornish game hen. And what you entered the dining room was the royal hall of King Henry VIII. And
Okay.
so somebody's playing the king, somebody's playing this, somebody's playing that.
Yeah.
And I was one of, I don't know what the hell I was hired to originally to play, court jester or something. But and that's that's it all around. And there's musicals and there's songs, there's dance. The show happens while you're eating this rehearsal.
Right. Dinner
Formulaic.
and a show.
And they opened in Oakland, California. And the guy that owned the franchise got rich selling washing machines in England. And this was his
Hmm.
to do theater. And he was marketing dinner theater where he's going to open these places, uh, one in Hollywood, one in Oakland, and one somewhere else. And I auditioned up here and got the Oakland part. Within 2 days of being there, I could do a British accent, very good at that. So within
Ooh,
two
there you
days of
go.
being there, he wanted him, but the people that were running his franchise for him here, they needed somebody um, in Hollywood. They wanted Hollywood to be a go. They wanted that to be a good one. So they created this position called the court poet. And because I had a history
Oh,
degree, I could talk the language. The flowery language came to me. I could do that,
right.
write in that language. Um, so I became the court poet, and they offered me a job in Hollywood. And okay, good. That's good. I need to get down there and learn, get an agent, and start playing the game. And I had to be very careful with my wife to say this is not goodbye, but I should do this by myself. And I am as soon as I'm fixed enough, you'll come down and join me.
Right.
And that was the plan. Okay, so um, I go to Hollywood. Candy goes to Hollywood. Howie goes to Hollywood. I was in Candy Goes to Hollywood. I played Chuck
Hmm.
Barrass. Anyway, I get to Hollywood, and this is the early, mid 73, 74. Um, and I think I'm going to be an actor. And I'm a hippie. I've been a hippie.
Yeah.
I'm a yippie hippie. But I don't I don't fit into all. Everybody's dressed. Everybody's got this shit on. It costs thousands of dollars. I don't
Yeah.
have thousands. I don't do that. I got torn jeans. That's what's cool. You know,
Right. Got
I look
t-shirt and
like
jeans.
I look like Berkeley. I look like Haight Ashbury. Um, and that's not cool in Hollywood. That is not cool in Hollywood. When you
Yeah.
show up wearing that, you're a vagrant. You're a fucking moron. That's not the game here. And that's the game I'm in. I do not belong here. Every day I get more depressed. And when
Oh.
on the set I'm on with a whole new cast of players than I'm used to from up in Oakland, uh, everybody's slitting each other's throats for lines. It's like it's just competitive. There's
Yeah.
no sense of ensemble. I'm not making friends. Uh, I just having every day my temperature goes up a couple of degrees. I
Yeah.
last 7 days and I went, you know what? This is wrong.
Like I'm out.
Thought you could be a this, you're not. You're not any good at it. You don't belong here. So tail between the legs, I quit.
Yeah.
Go back to Berkeley. I'm done being an actor. I don't know what I'm going to be, but it ain't that. I can't.
Right. You're like, definitely not that. No.
And so when porn porn became an option, I wasn't. Well, I was well, okay, because I had put myself through such shame and
Oh.
humiliation
Hmm.
that I don't know how I could get any lower, you know, and
Right?
that
You're
gave me
like,
strength.
fuck.
That gave me strength. You know, you look what you did, and you survived that. Not only did you survive it, but you started getting more work in porn,
True.
because there's only so many times you can fail, and then what's left to choose except success? Okay, I'll try some of that now. And I started meeting people, and there are a lot of the guys are macho this and macho that, and I'm not that. And a lot of the women were really grateful to meet me in that world.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of the other women, they wanted Johnny get angry, Johnny get mad, and you know. So I left those women to find those guys because they could do whatever they were going to do, and
Yeah.
I
That's not me.
the women that appreciated me, and I met a lot of them and made some very good friends. And plus, I always was straight about it. I'm married, and um, God, did that get tested? Because you can't help but fall in love when you're with somebody for like 7 days and you're making love half the time, and
Yeah.
and you cross those bridges, and then okay. So you know, there's a lot of that.
The
There's
feels
a
are
lot of that.
natural.
I went through 2 or 3. I'm in love with you, and they were in love back, and
You're like, what
the
do we
fact
do
that
now?
the movie is wrapped, it was the sacred, the thing that got me back, because you know there's no set anymore, there's no hotel anymore. Everybody
Yeah.
go, get out of here, it's over. You're not the character anymore.
Skidoo.
You don't have to act like you're in love, and you know that's why they call it acting. You know,
And you're
stop
like,
doing
oh
it.
yeah, acting. That's it.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. So there's a lot of that. I hope that my rambling is not too rambling, and that some of this is usable for you. Um,
Oh, absolutely. No,
all
I
right,
just
and
love hearing
beyond
the
that,
story. That's what I'm saying. Sign me up.
okay. So if you have the time in your life to read the book, you get to, without all the me having to try to be clear about it, it's much clearer. You know,
Yeah.
I spent 30 years writing the book, so it's good.
Oh.
And it was edited by my wife, who's an English major. It's very good.
So of course, yeah.
Well, it was tough though, because while I value her skill as an editor,
Yes.
I don't 100% trust her as a worthy opponent in the game of love,
Hmm.
because there are
Okay.
things that, you know, issues that happen along the way where we struggle, and I can't just automatically choose her side in that, in my
Oh
story.
yeah, that's tough.
So she would go, well, okay, do you want me to be the editor or not? So I want you to offer yourself as an editor. I want you to know that I feel like it's my right to have last choice on any dispute.
Okay.
This is my story in the end. And you can,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm loving that you're doing this. I think you've made it better than it is. And I appreciate that, but there's some things that I just can't give you license to turn me into something I'm not, or I wasn't.
Yeah.
Um,
You're
and
like, I
that was
gotta be
great.
authentic.
That was great. But so we survived that. And I really, like I said, that's usually a great job, especially considering that it brought up a lot of ghosts that we had to deal with.
Right.
I
Brings
wrote
up a lot of stuff like, okay, oh, we gotta talk about this again. Shit. Okay.
I wrote the second book. It's called Return to Squirrel Hill. Squirrel Hill is a neighborhood in Pittsburgh where I grew up. It's also a neighborhood that about 4 years ago, there was a mass killing.
Oh.
I walked into a temple in my neighborhood and just started shooting people. I killed 12 people. It was the biggest
Holy
mass
shit.
murder of Jews in America. And Squirrel Hill was where it happened. So people think of Squirrel Hill, that's what the story's about. But
Yeah.
not about that at all. It's about the neighborhood I grew up in. Anyway, and I wanted Jeremy is her real name. In the book, she's Carly because she's a therapist and she's not. She can't be given out a real name.
Right. You're like, ugh.
Married to me, and because when you're the therapist, you're not the story.
True.
Patient's the story, and
Yeah.
if she has to drag around my reputation through that world, it makes her life hard, not easier. So
Yeah.
she has a stage name. And when it came to the second book, I wanted her to edit. And
Okay.
she said no.
She was just straight like, I'm not doing that again.
I've done that once. I don't want to go. I don't want to ever go through that again. And I said,
Yeah,
okay.
she's honest.
In this book, should you choose to accept the assignment, you have
Should you choose to accept?
you have final say. We'll
You put
discuss
that
it
right
in
up front.
details. Yeah, because it's worth it. The only reason I couldn't give her that is it was when you're in a jealousy situation, it's everybody for themselves. You gotta you can't give that away. You gotta
Yeah.
recognize what comes from what's fair and what's not fair. I'm entitled to my opinion. And when it came to this other stuff, okay, I have opinion about all, but they're not life and death to me. Like that other stuff was. And in this one, I can give away out that it didn't bother me at all.
Yeah. You're not standing firm on every little thing.
And she edited it. To both of our credits, we kept our word. So that's out there too.
Nice.
I'm lucky. I'm lucky. You talk about, you want the big picture of somebody who's had his cake and got to eat it too.
Right. And still going. How long have you been now? You said 50 years?
We got married in 75. We've been together since 1971.
Wow.
That
That's before. And I'm an old man. I say I was born in 80. I'm hitting 46 next week. I'm like, yep, that was even before I was alive. So there you go.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing, Howie. So now, of course, we got to make Jennifer happy because we want Jennifer happy because we love Jennifer. So this is the part, of course, where can people find your book, Hindsight, that has been out already? It's not re-released. And are you active on any socials, any platforms or anything?
I don't even know. I'm on your show. I'm on your show, which is the most important thing right now.
Aww.
So I have www.hindsightbook.com. www.hindsightbook.com, all lowercase. That's how you order the book from me.
Okay. And is it digital or is it is it hardcover or digital or?
It is. This is.
Or is there an option? Soft cover. Okay. But physical media, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's an audio version of it.
Oh.
www, where you hear the stories, me telling them.
Yeah.
Yes. www.howiegordon.bandstand.
Oh, Bandstand. Yeah, I know Bandstand. Great website.
All right, one more time.
Very easy to use.
www.howiegordon, it's all lowercase, www.howiegordon.bandstand, all lowercase.com. And that's to get the audio version.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know you were gracious enough to give me a copy, just life the past month. Whew, it got out of hand. But I did start reading it because the foreword was by Whoopi fucking Goldberg, which I'm sitting here, I'm like, no, this isn't. I'm like, and then there's photos of you guys. I'm like, holy shit. Well, that's Whoopi, someone to have open your book.
Whoopi was doing theater in San Diego when she met a fellow. She met one of the Blake Street Hawkeyes from up here who went down there to do one of his shows, and they met and fell in love. So his name is David Shine, and David brought her to live with him in Berkeley and to join the Hawkeyes as one of the new members of the theater group. There was 5 of them at that point.
Okay.
2 women and 3 men. And Whoopi joined the group. And I had been a student of the Hawkeyes and loosely was hoping they'd invite me to be a member, but I never said that out loud. They never did. And my wife also was a student. She became more of a full-time therapist than an actress. And it took the job being on their board of directors. And I took the job of being their videographer. I used to run video for the government when I worked in poverty programs in the 60s. And
Oh,
so
okay.
I had the first porta-pack. It's a big suitcase that came to Japan.
Yep.
It was fun. I used to shoot us fucking and stuff. And so I would shoot all the routines. And when Whoopi came, she would be performing in nightclubs around the
Oh,
Bay Area, and I would shoot
yeah.
her act. Now this is
Wow.
she would work with the group. It was all ensemble stuff, and but what happened was is she also wanted to do one-woman shows. And the first time she did a one-woman show, she got reviewed. The Hawkeyes were all their stuff was reviewed by the Chronicle. They were really well. They were good, so they got good attention in the theater community. And Whoopi, having joined them, this was an open door for her too, because they'd come to see her one-woman shows, and they fell in love with her. All of a sudden,
I mean, as expected.
when you go see a Hawkeye show in a warehouse, which is what they worked, and that was their theater too, there'd be 10 people. That'd be a big night for them. 5 people sometimes,
There's bodies in the seats. Let's go.
Right. Well, when Whoopi started performing with it, especially when Whoopi started performing her one-woman show by herself after a rave review in the Chronicle up here, there were 25, 30 people.
Oh, shit. Okay.
35, 50 people in the audience. It happened fast. It did not happen slowly. It happened fast. Somebody from New York heard about her and wanted her to come back east and do one of her one-woman shows. And she did.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the name of the place, but it was a place famous for new talent. And Mike Nichols heard about her and went to see her show. And he said he wanted to put her on Broadway. And that happened. That happened.
Just like that.
Lightning.
Yeah.
Lightning. Next thing you know, color purple. Lightning.
Yeah.
It was so.
God, it's such a good movie. Oh.
Yeah. And she did her show, one-woman show, Mom's Mabley, which I shot. But it wasn't for distribution. In fact, the Mom's Mabley people, it was a big hit in San Francisco. It's a theatrical. But what I remember, and this now I can't be wrong. I'm talking about this shit. The Mom's Mabley people came to Whoopi and said, "You can't just do this. Stuff is all under copyright. Mom's material and stuff."
Oh, I didn't think about that. Okay.
So they shut it down. So she couldn't do that show anymore. But everybody discovered who she was.
Yeah.
And she was well watched. And I remember one time, Whoopi doesn't do well on airplanes. Okay.
Ooh,
she's definitely afraid. Now, I had heard this, but as fate would have it, she was going to get her first. She was invited to appear at the Comedy Store in LA, in Hollywood.
Oh yeah.
So I was going down to LA that same day to open to make a movie for Ted Paramore.
Perfect timing.
So my wife hired Whoopi, she said, to keep me away from fucking anybody else. And Whoopi said, "Okay."
She's like, "All right, I'm done. Check
Whoopi
cleared."
Hotel room. But we wouldn't be lovers because we wouldn't be, because once you're friends with my wife, you're not going to fuck me.
Yeah, you try not to fuck your friends' wives, technically.
Yeah.
I mean, some do, but hey, that's their jam.
I would have gotten in line otherwise.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we get on the plane together, and literally, she takes your arm, and you'll see it'll stay with you for 4 or 5 days.
Oh, just grips.
Yeah, she gets terrified. She really, or she did. This was like 1983.
Yeah.
I mean,
Back when
she's
you could smoke on planes.
But so she's holding me, and I'm trying to tell her it's okay, we're okay, we're okay, and we go to the show that night, and she's doing. This is not mom. She's doing. I think she called it the spook show. She does characters, 4 or 5 characters, and they're great. They're really great. And I'm sitting there before the show, and in comes Barbara Streisand.
Oh shit! Okay.
With 2 guys.
Babs.
Who both guys could have played the defensive line for the LA Rams.
Just giant motherfuckers.
Yeah. You're not going to get close to Barbara Streisand.
No, sir.
But I'm sitting there, and Barbara Streisand. I fucking love Barbara Streisand. My God, Barbara, she's there. She's here to see Whoopi. Oh my God. I'm crying. I'm gonna be happy. And Whoopi kills.
Yeah, of course.
Barbara, at the end of the show, I'm standing there with Whoopi, and she's taking her praise from whoever's coming up, and Barbara's has to get in line. And she does, and she gets her turn, and she goes, this must be very exciting for you, the being discovered phase.
Yeah.
Whoopi is very calm in that, and that whole thing. She just knew this was all right. This was all right. This was supposed to be the way it is. This is supposed to be this way. She just I had that sense of her.
Yeah.
She wasn't thrown by it. I don't know when she went in her room and jumped up and down and, peed on the bed or whatever she did. But in public, she just.
But to have Barbara Streisand wait in line for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
When we went.
Well, shout out to Whoopi. But yeah, so I will definitely make sure we add the websites, of course. And yes, I'm going to read the book and follow up with you again. I'm probably going to jump on your website and buy it this weekend because I'm old school. People still laugh at me. My daughter makes fun of me relentlessly. As you can see, I still have notes. I still use paper notepads.
Yeah.
When it comes to books, I love a book in my hand. If I have to stare at my phone just for me mentally, I can't do it. I try and it's like, okay, if I try it on the iPad, or remember like we used to have Kindles and stuff.
Not me. Kindles.
No. I was like, just give me the book. I want to flip the pages, play with it when I'm bored. So but yes, I will definitely get on that and follow up with you because I might have more questions. So there we go.
Well,
and I think Jennifer wouldn't be mad either.
I would love to have you at your leisure, if you get through the book and it happens that you read it, and there are things in there that strike your fancy that you want to know more about or you want to talk about, you write the script and I'll be here.
Hell yeah, we'll make it happen, Howie.
Okay.
Well, Howie, thank you so much for your time and making space for us today. And of course, as always, stay safe and stay slutty.
Ask me what my favorite word is right now.
What is your favorite word right now?
Genuinity.
I do like the sound of that.
I made up. Genuinity. And you got it. And it's always appreciated.
Thank you, my friend. I definitely appreciate that. And I try to be genuinity, ing, as I can. We'll work on that part.
Genuine. You try to be as genuine as you can.
Oh, yeah. But I want to make it a fun word, like genuinity. I'll add on to it for the next time. Awesome. I'll work on that, and we will be talking soon down the road. You have a great rest of your evening.
Thanks for the fun interview.
No need to knock, the door's unlocked. Come on in, let's have some fun. We'll make it hot, won't wanna stop. Slide on into Suburban Slut. No need to knock, the door's unlocked. Come on in, let's have some fun. We'll make it hot, won't wanna stop. Slide on into Suburban Slut.